You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
TB, welcome you to another edition. Ladies and gentlemen, Fan Running with you on a incredible, and I do mean bow your head when you say thy name, Wednesday with Watson Brown. You know, today as we welcome you in, I have to ask, Tony Vols and the Giants, is it real? Is it real? Really, really hot rumors floating around right now in our local baseball community. Also, it's a Wednesday with Watson. Let's go. Dudley Dawson joins as well. And Mark in Columbo tells me he's dropping a bomb later on in the hour, if he can somehow figure out a way to get through. So we got all kinds of stuff to talk about today and very little time to get there. Look, as I said yesterday with this Tony Vitello thing, I get why the Giants want him. Pat Murphy was has been really good in Milwaukee. Now, you know, I've had people, let me just back up here. So last night during that game when Garrett Crochet, Sean Sinclair shoved last night on a huge stage in Major League Baseball. Did neither you nor Brian see that, or either you or Brian see that last night? Garrett Crochet shoving.
No, sir, I did not. I did not watch any baseball yesterday.
The Yankees didn't shove back enough.
Crochet was so good. He retired like 17 guys in a row, so I reach out to Tony during the game. I'm like, man, what do you think of this? I said, are you surprised? And he goes, no. No, I'm not surprised. No. That was his reply. And then I asked him, Tony, are you planning on getting to see one of his starts? Because no offense to Bino, when they win game one in your building, Bino, and you got two more games in that same building in this short series, the Yankees are really up against it now. And to Tony, I'm like, do you plan on going to see him one of his starts when the time comes? And he said, maybe. He said, but right now I'm knee-deep in recruiting. Now, here's the question. Is he knee-deep in his recruiting? Or is he knee-deep in the San Francisco Giants recruiting of him? That's the question. And I'll be really honest with you. I had a couple people last night reach out to me and say, man, this thing's real. The Giants have sent a plane for him. I mean, it feels like the groomers all over again, Sean. The Giants have sent a plane for him. I don't know whether those people are right. I don't know. Or whether we just live in a society that's bored, Sean. Or is it a little bit of both?
I guess we'll find out. If being a major league skipper is his ultimate dream, then I wish him all the success in the world. I believe he could do it. I don't understand. I'm not sure why a guy that's as emotional as he is would put himself in that kind of pressure cooker when you don't have control over things like he does in college. He's set to be he's obviously a multimillionaire already and will just be stacking on that. He has a brand new stadium coming up. He's got, I just looked it up. I mean, he's had after the draft the past two top recruiting classes, I think, coming in 2026. He has, if my numbers are right, in perfect game, I just looked it up. He has 19 commitments. 15 or 16 of those 19 have received a perfect 10.0 grade from perfect game. In his 27 class. He has, I think, 9 commitments or 10, and 7 of those are top 100 prospects. So recruiting is going better than it's ever gone in his tenure here. He's one of, if not the top 2 highest paid coaches. He's getting finishing up a brand new stadium.
Yes.
And he doesn't have to deal with general managers. He doesn't have to deal with
the geeks, the Ivy geeks, the Ivy geeks telling you don't
crowds,
telling you don't know sports, even though you've been doing this for 31 years. The Ivy League geeks telling you, arguing about sports with you at the supper table. He doesn't have to deal with that.
Well, then
the
also,
Ivy geeks setting his lineup for him, Sean, setting his lineup, telling him which pitchers he can pitch, telling these pitching coaches that know a lot more than them, that some readout on a spreadsheet tells you who to pitch and when to pitch them.
Yeah, a couple of other things that don't kind of add up. Again, I want to be on record and say I think he could do it.
I think he could do it too.
He's successful. However,
I think he can win anywhere he goes.
Yeah, exactly. But is the band going with him? I imagine Frank Anderson either retires for good or stays along and helps, because Josh Elander will be the step-in coach, and he'll be wonderful as well. He's been he's been one of the main recruiters. We couldn't find a better guy to replace Vitello. So who knows? It's Tony. It's interesting. Tony has a love-hate relationship, seemingly from the outside to me, with the season. He's fired up about it. There's things about the stadium. There's things about the things. He's Italian. No offense. You are too. You guys get very emotional about stuff. And then he loves the best fans in the world. Are you going to do that for 162 games when the Giants Stadium is going to be about 20% full on most nights?
It's awful.
I don't see. Again, when you're a multimillionaire, is more than that coming up? I mean, I don't know.
Do you buy it, Sean? On its face right now, as we sit here, like all these rumors that are percolating, that they've sent a plane. And by the way, Tony Basilio, have you texted Tony Vitello and said, is this thing with you and the Giants real? No, I haven't. Why? Because, like I told a friend of mine, that I just don't believe it. I think it sounds good. It's kind of interesting to talk about. I'm just talking about in my heart and in my soul. Now, if I come to the conclusion that it's a real story, I'll be all over it. Don't worry about that. I'll be in the middle of it. But I'm just telling you, me, and we're all different, right? Like I got a friend that's got a porch, and he's out there every day, and he's out there in the midweek, and he's slaving over the grill, and he's hosting people, and he's got and he's really worried. He tried to call me last night at 10:45. I'm like, what are we doing, man? Oh, I just got off the phone with so-and-so, and they just sent a plane to get him after practice today. And I'm like, well, that's funny, because if he's on an airplane right now, he's got really good service. Because I was just texting with him watching the baseball game. Like, I'm literally exchanging texts with him right now. Like, I just texted him 10 minutes ago. If he's on an airplane. I'm not saying we don't text on airplanes
if he's
now.
If he's going to be there, who cares? Why would you worry about him? Wish him the best of luck and usher in a new coach and thank him for putting this place in the top 5.
Sean, you're of the belief this thing's going to continue. It ain't going to continue without him. I love you to death. This thing and I love Elander. No offense to him. Come on, man. No, let's get real.
No, it's going to continue. It won't continue likely at the rate it is.
Now we're talking.
It'll be a lot better than when he got here.
You don't know. You don't know that. You don't know.
You can't chain a guy to a job.
I'm not chaining anybody to a job. I'm saying
I'm of the opinion now that if that's what he wants to do, then I wish him well.
Do you buy it? Sean Sinclair, right now, as we sit here.
No. I believe if you're San Francisco or you're a major league operation, you leave no stone unturned. You look for the best fit, if that's in college baseball, if it's in the minors, if it's a retired manager, you do what you have to do. That's what you have to do if you're running a program like that. If you don't call, it's the same thing in college. if you're Texas A&M,
yes,
and you don't call Tony Vitello, you're not doing your job as an AD.
Brian Hartman, do you believe it? Right now, do you believe it, Brian?
No, I don't. Not at all.
I stand with Brian. But I also stand with Sean. Let me tell you something. Tony would be great at that. I think Tony could be a college football coach tomorrow and win. Ray Mears told me one time. He said, Tony, I coached all kinds of sports coming up when I realized I wasn't a very good athlete. He said, and people that can coach can coach. He said, I can go read a manual. And Mears told me, he said, let me tell you what coaching is. It's people. It's understanding people. And he didn't say this at the time, but this is what he meant. It's learning how to unlock people. It's learning how to get athletes, connect with them so that they can dig deeper than they ever thought possible inside themselves. And I see the way Will Heflin and people like him talk about Tony Vitello, the reverential terms. And look, here's the ultimate mark of a coach. And Cinco knows this more than anybody because he's been around it. The really, really good coaches, the guys, when you talk to them behind the scenes, love on them. Not like the stuff you say in the media. Because and then kind of the fraudy coaches, when you get them alone, they tell you what they really think. Yeah, you think this guy's this. Well, he's really an SOB, and here's why. You don't get none of that with Tony. I think Tony Vitello would be absolutely a miserable wreck if he took that Giants job, knowing him. I just think it would be a horrible mistake for him. And that's why, ultimately, I don't give credence to it. Now, why would the Giants want him? Well, for one thing, he's one of the brightest people you'll ever meet. I mean, in any walk of life. For another thing, he's unbelievably magnetic. I think he would do a nice job with their team. I just think he'd be completely miserable, Sean. I'm talking miserable.
I don't know what he would be, but I think there's a thing here where not only is he a winner, but is he a better coach than his father is? I don't know about that. His father was a dominant coach, soccer, baseball, etc. But the point being that he impacted lives. And Tony Vitello, I don't know that you impact many lives in professional sports. I think what you talk about Will Heflin, what you talk about Max Ferguson, all those guys, whether they're in the pros or not the pros right now, is the impact he's had on that, the impact he's had on this university. Two things you're talking about coaching. Roll your eyes if you want. She would never have been given the chance. Pat Summitt would have been a successful coach in any sport, male or female.
I agree.
She would have learned the sport quickly. She would have identified the best teachers, and she would have been a dogged recruiter, whatever it was, lacrosse, men's lacrosse, girls tennis. Doesn't matter. And a great story one time when we were in school, I had the opportunity several times to talk to Ray Buzzard, who was he was the head swim coach, champion coach, national champions, All-Americans, Olympians, etc. One of the neatest guys I've ever met in my life. Would say anything, no filter, etc. Come to find out later, I found out that he was a Hall of Fame high school football coach in the state of Virginia. If you can coach at an elite level, you can coach. Bruce Pearl would be a great. Bruce Pearl didn't play college basketball.
No, he was a mascot. He was a mascot. That's right.
Bruce Pearl would have become a highly successful football coach if he wanted to be. I truly believe that.
No, you get no argument from me. Speaking of great coaches, the great Watson Brown joins. I know folks want to talk about false start on a Wednesday with Watson Brown, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meat. So if you're there, know you're hanging on for a while. But if you want to hang there for a while, hang, because we will no doubt get to the Vitello thing. Are you scared? People are. Oh, hey, the airplane! Hey, the airplane! He's on the airplane. I don't know. Is he? I don't know. Is he? I don't know. He's amazing. Well, I picked him up after practice today. I'm like, really? Well, that's funny because I've been texting with him tonight watching the game. So he must be watching it en route to the coast. And then he tells me, well, I got recruits in, blah, blah, blah. You coming down the count? Well, I got recruits. I don't know. We got recruits in. Maybe what he meant is I'm going to be in San Francisco. Maybe that's what he meant. So we continue with more after this.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, If you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof. T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right. Drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. Basilio here. No one does it like Alumni Hall. I'm here to tell you, living Vol fan, only one place. That's the best place to shop for Tennessee gear, and that's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands like Nike and Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. Load up on hats, accessories, Yeti, all your tailgating necessities. Download the Alumni Hall app, click account, and it'll tell you how much Hall cash you've earned. You earn $10 in rewards for every $150 you spend. Alumni Hall, with physical locations in Murfreesboro, Bristol, and 3 locations in Knoxville, now open in Johnson City. Pop into Alumni Hall and get ready and tell them Tony B sent you. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk, to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio Show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols.
So the Tony Vitello rumor train is going to run today, no doubt. We've invited him on the show. The baseball team has a scrimmage on Saturday in Chattanooga. Tony's going to be there. Matt Dixon reminded me, Pat Murphy left Arizona State because of an NCAA investigation, which really isn't germane to the point here. Pat Murphy was successful this year. They led the National League in wins, and it is a copycat world we live in. I was just talking with Watson Brown about that, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats. And whether or not he was getting ready to get fired at Arizona State's not germane to the conversation. What is germane is the guy had wild success this year. There hasn't been many guys that have crossed over. And Watson Brown now joins on our TLD Logistics phone lines or online at tldlogistics.com. Presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats. Watson, I welcome you in, my brother, and I hope you're well on this Wednesday. And I guess nothing surprises us anymore, but college baseball coaches involved with major league jobs. I mean, that seems like two different sports to me, Watson. Hello, Watson. Hang on. What's going on with my phones here? Watson, are you there? Hola, hola, hola. Let me see if it's him or... Hello on the phone lines. Are you there? Uh-oh. My phone lines are down. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm right here, Tony.
Okay, you're right there. Watson, are you there? Let me see if I can get him. Bri, what do you think of this? By the way, the College Sports Commission, Sean, is going to open up a snitch line. If you know of somebody that's going over the cap, you know of somebody that's circumventing the cap, you know of somebody that's doing these things, you can call and you can snitch on them, Sean. Thoughts on that, the snitch line?
So do snitches no longer get stitches?
That's
Sean,
the dumbest thing I've ever. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Expound.
Well, of course,
Sean.
everybody's going to be calling. They don't have enough. They don't have enough people to make sure that a pass interference is right or wrong. And you're gonna track down every single tip coming in that some school is going. How are you going to prove it? Give me a break. Well, they can bring back Rich Johanningmeyer and his cache of investigators to try to look at everything. Come on.
What are they going to do about it? That's another thing. What are they going to really do about it?
What are they going to do about it, Bri?
What are they going to do about it?
What are they going to do about it?
How can they enforce anything?
Pete Nacco says the following. Pete Nackos, College Sports Commission is establishing an anonymous tip line, which has been nicknamed the snitch line. Sources tell On3. See if you can connect with Watson out there. Let's try it. Let's make another run at him. The CSC will be taking tips on everything from schools going over the cap to circumventing NIL Go. I love how the guys that cover this stuff cover it like it's real. Sean, do you think NIL Go is real? Do you think any of this stuff's real, Sean? You think these schools are going to pay attention to this stuff when the time comes?
No, of course not.
I mean these guys are such sheep that cover this stuff like it's real.
Well, I don't understand what if it is. Let's say it is real. The NCAA they're just kicking again, as they have done for the history of their existence. They kick every important decision can down the road. If you want to deal with this, collective bargain and be done with it. They lose every single. I guess they've won a couple of here and there, but I'm not sure that the players wouldn't take it to another level about eligibility or NIL money, etc. But they can't even manage anything, and that now all of a sudden you're going to be given this just dinosaur of a tip line, anonymous tip line, where anybody can just call. That's crazy.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm getting my hands on that tip line because we got some receipts we're keeping around here, Bri. I'm gonna turn Stephen F. and Pearl in.
But they had receipts on Will Wade and the guy down in Miami.
I got receipts on Will Wade. I got receipts over here, man. Turn in Kentucky. Turn them all in. I'm gonna turn in Saban for some things that happened with him in the past. Watson Brown, how you doing?
I'm good.
Oh, there's my man. Woo! You want something done, you get Laura to do it. On the TLD Logistics phone line, it's a Wednesday with Watson, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats. Hey, Watson, I was just reading something to the guys, and what I was reading to them is that Pete Nackos is reporting just a moment ago that the NCAA is starting what they're calling what people in the media are referring to as a snitch line. College Sports Commission establishing an anonymous tip line, which has been nicknamed a snitch line, according to On3 Sports. The CSC will be taking tips on everything from schools going over the cap to circumventing the NIL Go. What the NIL Go is, okay, that's the whole deal now where you're supposed to get fair market value for your NIL, not we're paying you to play. No, he's laughing. A guy that's been in this for 4+ decades, ladies and gentlemen, derive laughter from that and joy. How big of a joke is that, Watson, in your humble opinion?
I mean, Tony, they always say what goes around comes around. This is 30, 40 years ago. This is exactly, I mean, somebody turned somebody in for this, and the NCAA did have to look into it and do this and that, and very seldom did they get anybody. And like I told you, it was over. I can tell you, I was right in the Southwest Conference when SMU went down. I was there. I was part of it as AD and coach, and it was over a kid getting paid and not working. They paid him and he didn't show up to work. And that's exactly what got them. And it was their second go around. So this is all coming right back again. Here we go again.
You imagine the bulk of the number of phone calls that would come into a line like that. And like Sean said, Sean, the last time I checked, they have like 3 investigators in Indianapolis. I mean, they don't even. It's not even like they have. And the people from that law firm or from the Deloitte people, Laura doesn't like me saying the last name of their thing. She says don't say that on the air. Deloitte Touche. They're the ones, Sean, spearheading this. They think that they can get to the bottom of things.
Why would the NCAA spend any money at all investigating stuff they can't control or can't punish or can't do anything?
Because that's the truth, Watson. You imagine them going to try to punish one of these schools and one of these schools saying, we'll just see you in court. Let's see how legal your whole little thing is here.
They have no power, so that's not going to work. And then the thing that you said, that another thing I giggled about was anonymous. You get anonymous calls. I mean, the NCAA wouldn't even look at anonymous back in the day. I mean, you had to officially turn something in. And
oh, really?
There's no telling. Oh, yeah. There's no telling. Now, they might look into something, but it ain't going to go any further till they get something official from somebody. And that's crazy to me, because there's no telling what'll come in anonymously. Think about fans just calling just to call and say, man, you need to go look into this. They just lost they hadn't beaten their rival in 3 years or something. And I mean, that's crazy to me for it to be anonymous. I think if you turn something in, there ought to be something to it, and you ought to have to put your name to it.
Hey, Watson, if I
get
my hands on that tip line, I'm putting it on Twitter and putting it on my I'm going to put it on my blog.
You'll have fun with it.
Let's settle all the scores. Maybe we could call something in on the air, guys, one day. That'd be a good little gimmick. That'd be a good little bit as Watson Brown joins, because really we're making a light of something that deserves to be made fun of, because it's a joke.
Well,
it's dumb. It's silly.
It's like you were talking about coaches, and we're talking about Tony and this San Francisco guy thing or something. And the college coaches haven't had a lot of success when they've pulled it in football. But now I think you're going to see a lot more of them call, because all of a sudden it's the same thing as professional football. You're paying kids, you're deciding who's getting this and who's getting that. I mean, it's very similar now to the pro ranks. And so I think you're going to see more college coaches get calls than the NFL has gotten, where it just picks from the 32 teams. So I think that's what's going on, and I think that you'll see it in all sports, baseball, basketball, because it's nothing right now but a mini professional baseball league or a mini professional football league. And I don't even know if you call it mini, because there's some of these guys getting paid in college a lot more than they get paid if and when they ever get to go to the NFL.
How about that money James Franklin's making, Watson, and that offense they're running? That looked like 1957 out there. What in the world? I'm gonna get to a couple things we saw on the field, including the Vols with a real close shave. Watson Brown, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats, a beef brand simply built on quality. And look, they've got a spot in West Knoxville off Level Road. Their little shop. You got to go by and check their shop out. It's like going in the old corner store, except in that corner store, you're going to find the very, very freshest of steaks and burgers and sausages and roasted chicken, and all this stuff is raised and sourced. The meat's from farms on pastures on purpose. No hormones, none of that stuff. I mean, we're talking about the best of the best, and you will taste the difference. So stop by and taste the best from the Tennessee community. You can also, they can ship anywhere in the world to you, simpsonsmeats.com, and Sam Bruce and the folks there say that we've gotten them tremendous results, and I'm just not surprised, because first of all, they've got a great product. Secondly, we just have a tremendous following of loyal folks who support the program, and I appreciate that. So, Watson, speaking of support, Tennessee had a huge contingent of fans on the road at Mississippi State, what an interesting football game. You and I were texting during the game. Mississippi State at times was real physical with the Vols, Watson.
Yeah, they were. And I think the more I watched it, Tennessee was kind of soft in the secondary. I think they're trying to cover their corners right now. Mm-hmm. And so they weren't playing the style I've seen them play as much in last year. And so they're a little soft, and so there's a little area between the front line and the second line. And they were getting some movement in the first half, and the ball was bouncing outside, and there wasn't anybody there real quick. And so the back's getting ahead of speed up, and now you've got a big back coming down on a secondary guy, and that's a hard tackle. I don't care what you say. You got to get those guys before they really get going. And so they got knocked around a little bit, but they straightened it out. Tony, to me, the big play of the game was the fourth down play, in my opinion, and they got in a kind of a bunch set and ran a pick route, a mesh route as we call them, and first time I've seen them do that, and it went for a big play. And so I was impressed with Tennessee. It wasn't a pretty win, but you don't get a whole bunch of pretty wins in the SEC on the road. You want to go in there, you get out of there, and get on to the next one. So I thought they did good by getting out of there with a win.
I'd like you to tell on yourself, Watson, because I know you called plays when you were the head coach, yes?
Yeah, I did. All but 1 year. I had Steve Sloan my last year at Vanderbilt called them.
Okay, so were there times where, because Josh is calling the plays, they can act like they got an offensive coordinator and this, that, and the other. Josh calling the plays.
He's for sure calling the big ones.
Okay,
I can tell you that.
Thank you. So the end of the game, that whole sequence where they let 28 seconds run off the clock, have you ever had a spot like that where you should have called a timeout? And just in the moment, for whatever reason, you freeze. Whatever. We're all human. Like, you have a bad day at the office. Does that happen? Because this has happened now a couple times to him this year, and people are kind of they're passing judgment on this guy as a game manager or whatever. And I'm not sure if that's fair or not fair, but it seems to me like it's very fast. I'm trying to get the next play in my head called, but then at the same time, I got to get timeout. Or should he be getting help in his headset, Watson? Should somebody be screaming in his headset, you got to get a timeout, get a timeout, get a timeout? Walk us through like what that's like on the sidelines, please.
I'm sure I've messed up some through my time, but I don't think it's doing both. It's just a decision you got to make, and you've got time to make that, because in my opinion, when I was making them, you're making a play call off of the philosophy that you decide. So I always thought it was easier because I was doing it. I didn't have to have a philosophy and then the guy hear what my philosophy was and then call a play. I could do it all together in my mind. But part of it is you go fast, you don't make a first down, you give them the ball back, a chance to beat you. There's so much goes into that. I can vividly remember one, Tony, and we're playing Mississippi State, and the game's tied, and they punt to us. My quarterback had gotten dinged in the head the series prior. I've got a backup in. Matter of fact, I think the backup was Sam Hunt, the singer, the country music singer now, who had been injured himself, and we had maybe 25 seconds or so. We had the ball at about our own 30, and I just kind of let the clock run out. And, man, I caught so much grief that I didn't throw 2 or 3 balls and go down and try to win the game. We get in overtime and lose the game in overtime to Mississippi State, and we'd beaten them the year before. And I got eat up, and I understand it. And I told them after the game, I said, I was just afraid to do it with our quarterback out. And I said, Lord, we fumble a snap or we throw a bad ball here or whatever, and then they end up beating us. That's a little bit of the same kind of thing, I think. And it's just decisions you make as a head coach. I defend him because they're not all easy. And sometimes you may mess them up, and sometimes you don't. And but I don't think he froze. I don't think anything. It was what he wanted to do. He was doing what he wanted to do, in my opinion.
That's interesting. So letting like 28 seconds run off a clock is what he wanted to do. Sean, jump in here on this because that was a major point of discussion on our Garza Law fifth quarter fan reaction. Some fans were just apoplectic over it. I don't know, Sean, that I've ever seen anything like it at the end of a game. But who knows what the motivation was, Cinco. Jump in here on that if you have a thought.
Well, I've never had that headset on as a head football coach, so I can't really speak with any kind of authority. But I would imagine I did have the opportunity when I was in school in the press box to have headset on, and there is no time. And the stuff as a human going through your mind, it's not like chess where you can sit there and analyze every single move you make and what are the ramifications of those moves. You're in hot water right there, and you got to make the best decision you can. It is conceivable that what he did was exactly what he wanted to do, that he wanted to play it just like that. And we see things differently from our couch or our seat. But, it's a tough spot to be in. But, I'll say, and I think Coach would agree with this, he knows his team. He knows his players. He knows the momentum. He knows everything about going on that sideline way better than we do. And he makes the best decisions he can with the information he's got in the time allotted.
Was he afraid to kick a long field goal, you think, there, Watson?
That would be the thing that you wonder, because I don't think there's any doubt he did what he wanted to do. Sean's got a point in that it happens so fast, and people don't understand how fast the decisions you have to make. But he's used to fast decisions by running that style of offense, a fast offense. Teams that are a slowdown, and then you get in those 2 minutes, that's harder on the decision maker and the play caller. But they're so used to it. He may regret what he did today, but he did what he thought was right at the time. What I'm saying is there's no way he choked. There's no way he sat there and said, "Oh, what do we do? What do we do?" He's doing what he thought was right. And now, I've many times, like I said, if I had to go back against Mississippi State when I was at UAB with a chance to beat them 2 years in a row, I'd have thrown it with the backup quarterback. So after it's over, I looked back and said, I should have done it. Now, we also got beat in overtime where Tennessee didn't. They went in against Mississippi State and won the game in overtime. So you're going to have those times, but I don't think he choked, guys. I don't think that's what it was whatsoever.
If I could add this, and again, I was an observer. I have no impact on the game. I knew exactly what my role was, and it was insignificant. But I was there for 2 years in a press box and watched this. I would watch the offensive coordinator, and this is what they're sitting in the front row of the press box. It's not the greatest view you have. Back then, there was a communication was two-way. It goes straight to the head coach, or you have a phone call, the old curly thing where you could talk to the quarterback or whoever was down there. There's not mass communication. So my observation was the offensive coordinator was sitting there looking at play sheets in front of him. He had one spotter who was either a manager or GA telling him, "Coach, it's 3rd and 11 on the right hash." The offensive coordinator hardly even looked up because he was already thinking of contingencies of what happened to that play to call the next play. The stuff moves, and then if you have anybody adding input, it messes everything up. The decisions that I saw had to be made were so fast and had to be so definitive that there's no time to even take a drink of Diet Coke in between plays. I wonder if Coach, remembers it similarly.
I 100% agree, and that's why I think, honestly, I always said, because I was one of the few that called plays as a head coach, that's where I thought it was an advantage to be the guy making the philosophy decision and calling the play to go with it. Instead of, okay, let's go a little slower here. Now the guy's got to think, okay, what do I do? Do I just call a draw? Do I call a screen? I just think it's easier to do it that way. The other thing, Sean, that I did, and I promise you I've worked for guys that were the same kind of way, I did not want anybody saying anything to me during play call times and those kind of decisions. I don't want to hear from anybody. If I wanted to hear from anybody, I told them, "John, what do you think right here?" But I didn't want anybody popping in and saying something when I'm trying to make a quick philosophical or a call play decision, and I'd get on somebody for doing that. So I didn't ever want somebody to say, Coach, call a timeout, call a timeout. I don't want to hear it. If I blow it, I blow it, but it's going to be on me. I don't have time to listen to somebody tell me what they think might be the best thing to do. It's like I'd go around the staff room, Tony, and for a decision we had to make of something with a player that maybe got in trouble, whatever, or a philosophical decision within the team. I could go around and have 10 people give me 10 different ideas. That's all great, but sooner or later, one man's got to make those decisions, and you can't have more than one making those kind of decisions. And that's where I'll just defend him on it, whether it was right or wrong. I think he did what he wanted to do.
When you were watching it, were you surprised, Watson, they let that time run?
Yeah, I was a little bit, but at the same time, I'm sitting there saying, I think I understand. He's a little nervous with this right here. So yeah, I was. I will say that I was. I was a little surprised that he went about it the way he went about it. And like I said, after the Mississippi State debacle, and I just bring that one up because it was the same team that Josh just had to make it, and we were playing them that year in Birmingham. We weren't in Starkville, and I regretted it when it was over. I didn't ever say that because it's just don't help to go back and do that. I just said it's a decision we made, and we'd live with it and get on to the next one. But I never said I wish I'd done it different. And he may have the same feelings, but the difference is he won the game. I lost the game.
Well, see, that's the interesting thing, right? So you win the game, and then you wonder.
So it was all right, the decision he made. That's the way I look at it.
That's yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said after that game, because it was one of the more bizarre football games we've ever seen, you ain't painting pictures, you're writing numbers. That's the old saying in golf, you know. And the other thing you know about in golf, if you ever see that sport up close and personal at a semi-high level, is those things will even out. Every once in a while, a ball hit a cart path, bounce where it's not supposed to, and then every once in a while, you'll hit a drive that'll roll into a divot. So, you know, the breaks in that deal, you're going to get what you get, and your score is your score, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to deserve to shoot the score you shot. And 9 times out of 10, the team that deserves to win, Watson's going to win the football game.
Hey,
in football,
I got
more than any other sport, football's that way.
Yes.
And the other thing I'd say is he did get a nice bounce because his first play call of the overtime was a call away from the blitz. There was a blitz coming from the field, and he ran the play away from the blitz. And when you do that, you got a great chance to be successful. A lot of times people will check away from seeing the blitz. They didn't do that, but they ran the play away from the blitz, and it was one guy kind of missed a tackle, and it was a walk-in because all the bodies were coming from the field.
Go ahead.
What did you see on the offensive pass interference penalty on Chris Brazzell that took away a touchdown? Do you think they should have a chance to go and sort of challenge calls like that when they score?
You think they ought to have to do what, Brian?
Okay, so
to challenge.
I mean, Watson, just to elaborate, because we've talked significantly about this week, Brian. Not step on you. I just want to elaborate for Watson. We've had a robust discussion the past couple of days, and even on our overtime with our Garza Law program post game, Watson, that right now they review every scoring play. So why not review a play where a guy catches the ball, runs into the end zone, and scores? Technically, which is a scoring play, they wipe the points off the board due to an offensive pass interference. Should a play like that be reviewable in your mind?
I think it'll get to that. I hate to see them just keep doing more and more and more because it just slows the game down more, but I think it will. When you can overrule a ball that crossed the line of scrimmage or that official said it didn't, and it's called where they didn't break the pocket or something and throw it over here and it's loss of down and all that, they can review that. So I do think it could get to that. And if you really want to be fair, I think they should get to that, but I'm just not one that really wants to add another thing that you stop the clock for and run, because I think we do that way too much now. I mean,
do you think that was offensive pass interference?
I think that was a 50-50 call, and if I had been the official, I think I would have let that go. But it would have been a fuss by one side or the other, no matter which way the guy called that. there would have been a fuss by both because it was such a close call. But for me, and everybody'd say, well, you're an offensive guy. No, I just think they're letting them push and shove so much to the world today, guys.
I love
college football, SEC especially.
I love it.
They let them go now.
I love it.
So that's why I just don't think I would have called that.
Watson, from a coaching
critical time during the game too. Critical.
Unreal. From a coaching perspective, okay? Do the coaches want them to allow hand fighting, or do the coaches want all that stuff called? What do the coaches want?
Go around the table. All those defensive guys say yes. All those offensive guys say no.
Well,
it's like I said. I can go around there at the staff meeting and do that, and so it goes both ways. To me, I'd clean it up just a tad, but again, here I am, an offensive guy. I just think it takes away from the route running and the things that you do, and it turns it into kind of a nasty looking thing with them pushing and shoving. And I'd take a little bit of it away, in my opinion, but not to the NFL way, not that far. That defensive backs in the NFL, they got no chance, man. It's all about show, score points. And that's not being fair to defensive backs, in my opinion. I like the college way of doing it much better than the pro way.
Well, if that's the case, what's going on with the Titans, Watson?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you even turn that? Do you even
feel sorry for them?
Do you even tune that in right now? Because I had a Titan fan yesterday tell me
I'll watch them.
They can't do it.
They have a show up here that he does on Tuesday nights, and I'll sit and watch that. I just feel sorry for him. I don't know if it's him or they're just not good enough yet. But it's just the way of the world, and here he is at 4 games into his second season, and he's talking about him being gone.
Buddy, they're all over him.
I don't think that's fair, but again, I'm a coach. I look at it through rose-colored glasses, as people would tell me, and let's give him a chance here and see. I don't think they're very good yet. They really have fallen off and got a lot of young kids out there. And I just don't think they're very good yet. You're not going to win, Tony. You're not going to win with a brand-new freshman quarterback, as I would call him, a first-year player in the NFL.
Not with a team like that around them. No. And by the way,
the guy with the Redskins last year, it's like we all said. I said last year, this guy's bona fide. He ought to be the first guy taken in the draft. And
you nailed that.
You'll get one every once in a while. But when you're on a poor team like the Titans are,
yep.
When you're on a poor team with that, it just puts more pressure on the guy, and he's bottom of the league in all the stats right now. Well, he should be. This is his first time he's ever done any of this stuff.
It's a Wednesday with Watson Brown, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats. They're online at simpsonsmeats.com. Also, check out their store in West Knoxville off Lovell Road. If you want to buy in bulk, they've got half and quarter cows available. They've got gift boxes, things you can send all over the world. Great gift. Great idea. If you're like in the pharmaceutical industry or something like that and you want to do something great for an office, that's a great idea. The great Watson Brown joins. Watson, you told us don't throw dirt on Alabama a few weeks back. You said you told me two things.
I said about Ty Simpson, too.
And you said about Ty Simpson.
Remember back in the summer, I said he's going to be a really good football player.
And by the way, he looked really comfortable. They were doing all that stuff to get him off platform the other day, rolling him out.
Yeah.
He's grown very confident in that offense. He looked like a comfortable football player Saturday.
He did. He sure did. And I'm telling you, and this isn't prejudice at all, this is going to be a great game. Vanderbilt is very tough to beat. They do the academy style, Tony. That's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's when I told you I played 36 of those Power 5 games when I was at UAB. 36 of them. I always went into every one of those games, shorten the game. Get to the fourth quarter with a chance to win the game if you can pull that off. And now you've got you a real shot here. That's Vanderbilt's way. They're keeping the ball, and everybody's always said to me, when you try to shorten the game, where have you got to be good? I say you've got to be good on offense to shorten the game. You cannot be as good on defense, but you've got to be good on offense because you've got to be able to keep the ball away from who you're playing. And that's what they're doing, and it's frustrating, and that's what they're going to go into Tuscaloosa and do. And everybody said Alabama wasn't ready to play last year. Alabama had no idea how to stop that option-style stuff they're doing. They had no idea. They better have done a lot of studying over the summer because Pavia is a much better player this year than he was last. He's passing the football so much better. They're doing a lot more with him in the passing game. He's dropping back and throwing the ball some. And I think it's a tough out for Alabama, man. I'm telling you, anytime you play Vanderbilt this year, if Pavia stays healthy, it's going to be a close game because of their style of play.
We wrote today in the blog, I don't know if Brian Hartman saw this, on a neutral field, Tennessee and Pavia would be a 1.5. The Vols would be a 1.5 point favorite, Brian, in that game right now. That's the level. That's the level. But that's the level Vanderbilt's playing at right now. My point is, that's the level Vanderbilt's playing at right now because the Vols had Georgia beat, and Alabama beat Georgia. So if ever there was a season where these teams power-rated wise, Watson, are laying one on top of the other, this is the year, which leads me to this. Do you think Florida, I mean, this could be their last hurrah, right? But they have Texas, and Arch has struggled, and that Florida defense is really good. This is going to be a nice test for him to see how much he's learned because this is going to be a real test for him, Watson.
Well, and so is it for the Florida quarterback.
He's going to get
because
swallowed.
I think Florida would not have one loss at the most right now if they had any quarterback play.
No doubt about it.
If Pavia was at Florida right now, if Aguilar was at Florida right now, they're undefeated. That's how important that position is, and the ones that's quarterbacks. That's why Alabama's different now than they were against Florida State. Quarterback play.
Hey, Watson,
it's different.
I wrote today in the blog, and I mean this, and C was helping me, but if you took Aguilar and put him on Texas team, nobody in this league would touch them. They would kill everybody. Their defense is awesome. They've got, and I will agree with that. I'm gonna give you Pavia too. I think those guys, the Joes, are blowing the pros out this year. It is the year of the Joes, man, and I love it.
Well, and it's becoming every year more so. Quarterback. You're not going to win big if you don't have that guy. It's not happening. You just cannot come with an offense that you can win big with, that the quarterback doesn't have to be a major piece of it. And that wasn't the way it was 20, 30 years ago. You go take Herschel Walker and win a lot of games. You go take Tony Dorsett and win a lot of games and championships, but not anymore. You've got to have that position, and that's why Tennessee was so lucky to get this kid. And Vanderbilt getting this kid. Look at how it's just changed. And everybody says, oh, they got money now. Yeah, they do, and they're getting better players because of it. But take that kid off that football team, and I don't think we're looking at what we're looking at right now. That's going to be a hell of a game, and I promise you, the Crimson Tide defensive room is tighter than you can imagine right now. That stuff's not easy to stop. And they're 0 for 1 against it. They had no chance last year to stop it.
I love you like a brother. You're my man.
All right, guys. Always an honor to me.
I love your passion. I love you. I love your knowledge, your passion, your poise, your character. So much to love about Watson Brown, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats. Hour 2 on the radio after this. Upon the continuance, it will be, Bri, what are we doing upon the continuance? Dudley, Dawson, is that right, Bri?
Yes.
Well, I want to talk about Katrina. And Katrina going through there and firing 2 coaches already. I mean, this guy is an absolute treat, a treasure, and a total nut job. And then I want to get to this Tony Vitello stuff, if you believe it or not, after this.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted grade A grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted, in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right. Drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly.
Basilio here. No one does it like Alumni Hall. I'm here to tell you, living Vol fan, only one place. That's the best place to shop for Tennessee gear, and that's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands like Nike and Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. Load up on hats, accessories, Yeti, all your tailgating necessities. Download the Alumni Hall app, click account, and it'll tell you how much Hall cash you've earned. You earn $10 in rewards for every $150 you spend. Alumni Hall, with physical locations in Murfreesboro, Bristol, and 3 locations in Knoxville, now open in Johnson City. Pop into Alumni Hall and get ready and tell them Tony B sent you. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio Show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here. for budget transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morse here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols.
TB back with you. It's unbelievable, Andy, as we welcome you back. The Tennessee basketball Vols took one away from who'd they take one away from? Oh, Purdue the other day. And we talk about that in the blog over at tclub.team today, tonybasilio.com, a.k.a. Now joining us, hogville.net. You bow your head when you say thy name. I mark out for Dudley Dawson because the son's like a big-time music attorney, music agent. He's got me fired up, focused, and prepared when I talk to Dudley Dawson. Hey, Dudley, nothing going on at Arkansas this week, just kind of another boring week, right?
Hey, this is the first day this week I've woke up and hadn't said F myself to me about what's going on around here. It's been a circus, or as they used to say in Breaking Bad, and let everybody know I'm not using the T here. It's a catastrophe here.
So you and I were talking off the air. From the outside looking in, it looks like Arkansas brought Bobby Petrino back as sort of a low-key, soft landing interim succession plan. And you were telling me off the air, not so fast, my friend. Give me the backstory there.
Yeah, all of my sources, and they're all older and in the program and pretty good. They say last year, if there had been a change, if this scenario had happened last year, that Travis Williams, the defensive coordinator, who's a real up and comer, very popular with the players, would have been the interim coach, and that would have been the case again this year. Except the defense is absolutely, or has been absolutely horrid. There was no effort on the field in the Notre Dame game, and so in terms of succession as interim coach, Bobby Petrino was your choice. Now, do I think he's going to be the head coach here next year? I wouldn't bet against it, but I certainly wouldn't bet for it either, because he's got 7 games to prove that not only can he win on the football field, but he can play this new NIL transfer portal game. And all I've been doing the past couple of days is writing about decommits from recruits. So it's a cluster here right now.
Oh, wow. So the guys that were there that they're like, hey, because here's the thing, and I'm not knocking Bobby Petrino, but I will say this. I'm going to couch this, and you can kind of play along if you feel like or not. But Sam Pittman had a stop here. You can't find a person in the Knoxville community that would say a cross word about him. You can't find a former player that would say, and I'm talking about guys that didn't get on the field, that will say a cross word about Sam Pittman. And I'm not sure, poor Petrino, I'm not sure how many of his former players you could find that would love on him. And the last time he dealt with professional athletes was in Atlanta. And what was that word again? Shatocracy? What was the thing? My father was a mushroom grower. Shatocracy. Yeah, there you go. I think that would apply.
Straight from Breaking Bad, baby. Straight from Breaking Bad.
So I think that would apply. So I'll leave that at your feet. I don't see this guy coaching kids getting paid. Do you? I mean, long term?
Yeah, no, not at all. And it's, as we were talking off the air, my relationship with him wasn't the greatest here because of who he was when he was here last time. Now, he did the whole mea culpa and came back to the Little Rock Touchdown Club, and they welcomed him back in as an assistant with open arms. I've been very clear. I say that he used to be a player. Now he's a grandfather, in his mentality. But, he's a very disciplined coach when it comes to other people. And he, right away, Monday, let go of 3 very popular defensive assistants. He basically, at the press conference, told the 24 to 18-year-old guys that were on his team, you don't like change? You send out an emoji on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. Well, that's tough. Deal with it. You're pros now. And, you get paid to play. And so, he's going to be that same guy. As you said, I just don't think it's going to work in the pay-for-play era because it is pro football right now. And not sure that's going to work out. Again, though, if he beats Tennessee and goes 7-0, yeah, you're going to hand him the job. And he's going to surround himself with a bunch of young people who will play the game. But let's be honest about one thing. I know I'm kind of long-winded here, but let's be honest about one thing. This only works if some people in the Arkansas booster universe put a lot of money in the program. I'm actually sitting in a parking lot at Walmart right now. They put more money in Missouri's program right now than they do Arkansas. Many of them graduated from there. So do I think it's going to work out? Certainly wouldn't bet against it, but no way would I bet for it.
Say that one more time that's a very interesting thing you just said. You just said that they put more money in Missouri's program. Go ahead.
Yeah. As I said, I'm sitting in a Walmart parking lot right now, which is, a business here in Arkansas that gets a lot of pub, and they do put some money into the Arkansas program. But from my sources, I'm told they put far more money into Missouri, where most of them graduated from. Now, great grandpa back in the day, he did things here. Sam Walton, grew up in around my area, but that's not the way it's working now because, again, Missouri knows how to play the game. Arkansas has been battling uphill since the word NIL became a dirty word and not the word nil.
Sean Sinclair, jump in here with the great Dudley Dawson, who I bow thy head when I say thy name. Dudley's been at it a while now, 1987 graduate of the University of Arkansas. Go ahead, Cinco.
You guys have already started talking about Bobby Petrino, and he's earned his reputation. Everybody knows what he's all about. There's no secrets about what kind of person he is or, how he treats players, et cetera. It's all out there in public. My question to you is, Pittman's well-liked guy. You just said the defensive guys were well-liked. What can really be done in the next couple of weeks to turn this thing around on defense? Because what Petrino is essentially telling the world is that, hey, our defense is terrible. I'm getting rid of these guys, et cetera. That's the reason we're in this position we are. What can they realistically do except promote some GAs, promote some analysts, give some other guys a couple of different responsibilities? What are you hearing over there?
Well, it's my understanding that Tennessee has 17 non-coaches in their support staff. Arkansas has 5, and they are promoting from within. A couple of these guys have NFL experience, SEC experience, but they all took jobs right now because on the sports staff because they were out of work. So do I think anything can get better? Well, if you had the opportunity to pull their checks and tell them they weren't getting their checks unless they started to play hard, I think that would be something that would turn it around. But you can't do that yet in college athletics. I don't see them getting great at defense anytime this year. I do suspect that he's going to be on them in whatever mode he can. But do I think it's going to work? No, because of the nature of college athletics these days. They absolutely did not put forth an effort. They quit the other day against Notre Dame, and I have a hard time saying that, but they actually quit. You can put on tape and watch the guys run by them, and they weren't lined up. It was just a cluster, and a change had to be made. There are a lot more people like Sam Pittman as a guy than Bobby Petrino, but a lot more people like Bobby Petrino as a coach than as Sam Pittman. So we're going to see how it works out. But it was – I've talked to a lot of players, including Clint Sterner and Anthony Lucas, who y'all might know from past Arkansas-Tennessee games, and they were absolutely embarrassed at what was out there on the field.
I don't blame them. I mean, look, that you give up 28 points in the first half, and your opponent only has to go to third down one time. And that's
42. They gave up 42 in the first half, including 2 touchdowns in the last 35 seconds.
My bad. 42. I mean, what's 14 points among friends at that point? And as Dudley Dawson joins on the program, and things are so screwed up there that Dudley says that if the change would have been made a year ago, they would have given the job to a guy that got fired the day after they gave the job to an interim coach. So I want you to kind of try and digest. I mean, we've seen a lot of screwy stuff around here. We saw the coaching search and Shiano Sunday and all that stuff that happened back in 2017. I don't know if we've ever seen anything that screwy. So you're telling me the guy that would have gotten the job got fired by the guy that got the job that wouldn't have gotten the job a year ago. Am I close?
You nailed it. I mean, you absolutely nailed it. Now, I mean, I think the political people would say you used the word salad, but yes, you nailed it. And that is how mixed up it's been here, and why you have to, as good friend Bobby Bones says, as he tweeted out the other day, and he's the biggest Razorback fan around, but he tweeted out the other day, you got to burn it down.
Well, that's a good. That's a really good thing when you've got like over half the football season to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and hey, there's a lot of great young coaches out there, and here's my number one thing that I want to say about this current football program. You cannot be bad and not have any energy, not win the press conference on Monday. You have to have come out, and that's just not Coach Pittman's persona. He's just not an energy guy. He's just a good old boy that drinks a beer, and that's great. But when you're losing, you got to come out and at least have some energy and look like you were upset about losing, which I know he was, but he never looked like it. So that's why you're going to have to bring in Rhett Lashley, John Summerall, some of these other young coaches that not only can turn a football program around, can play the NIL and the transfer game, they can also have some freaking energy at the press conference because that's what the fans need.
That Summerall guy's a live wire. Plus, the one thing we've seen, and we saw it with Tony Vitello here, you get somebody with juice. The juice guys aren't afraid to go ask for the money. And the money guys are going to follow the juice guys. I mean, unfortunately, we're living in a day and age where, it's more about entertainment than it is the good old boy. A lot of the guys that got jobs back in the day wouldn't get jobs in this modern era because it's about how you project, how you speak into a microphone, all that stuff. Dudley, what other names are you hearing besides a Lashley, besides a Summerall? Who are some of the other guys that are on Arkansas's radar?
Well, Barry Odom is another one out there because he had been here, obviously before. The defense was pretty good when he was here, but I just don't see that happening. It's got to be those are the two guys that I just tossed out there are a couple of guys that I think have real traction. The others, I'm not so sure how this is going to work out. Last time this job was open, at least 8 different people turned it down.
Jeez.
Or got themselves raises, including the young coach at Ole Miss. It was a cluster back then. You got to put money in it, or they're going to be sitting around here, and I'm going to be doing this again in 5 years.
Is the Ole Miss job a better job than the Arkansas job right now, Dudley?
It is right now for sure. Absolutely. I mean, about that NIL and transfer portal, their program got behind it early on. Ole Miss, they did a wonderful job. Arkansas stood around and said, "Look at that! Look at what they're doing there," instead of doing it themselves.
As somebody that grew up in the 70s, I cannot comprehend that Arkansas football is in the spot they're in. I just cannot.
No.
I can't. I mean, that is a
cherished
brand.
You love the 70s. I loved Earth, Wind, and Fire. I still do today, what's left of them. And I had a thing yesterday. I paraphrased Earth, Wind, and Fire's great song. I said, do you remember when Arkansas had 27 commitments in the month of September? Now they have 18. And that was 3 days ago.
I thought you were going to say the reasons we are here.
That's another good one. It ain't no Boogie Wonderland up here right now.
No, I would say not. But Dudley, you're my man. On the way out, tell the living listener where they can find you, read you, your podcast, all that stuff. You're interactive and intergalactic.
Yeah, Inside Arkansas is where my podcast is now with John Neighbors. A lot of great guys there. Still working for Hogville, covering a bunch of sports. Also doing some long narrative stories for Best of Arkansas Sports. I enjoy getting to write 3,500 words again instead of 600. And Twitter, it's at Dead Sports. So, I'm getting after it. I've got some energy all of a sudden.
You're fun, buddy. I love you. Thanks.
You bet, bud. Anytime.
Be healthy. Be good. On your TLD Logistics phone lines, Dudley Dawson joins. Hey, Sean, you and I remember when Arkansas was a great brand in college football. How about Walmart's giving more money to Missouri's recruiting effort? Sean, was that in your Cinco card?
I didn't realize that. The assumption was because they're in Arkansas on my part.
Yep.
That they would favor that. But if you think about it, Stan Kroenke, who married into the family, he was all about St. Louis.
Yep.
In those areas. And he's more of I think he controls the family portfolio there with the Rams. I think they own Arsenal football club in London. And so that maybe Arkansas is just not a priority for them.
Wow. How about that?
I did see the Walmart brand on the stadium on the field last week.
Well, sure, but the one thing he said is, and we saw this with Tony, and we're seeing it with Barnes. When Barnes started courting the Haslams, that's when I knew his recruiting was going to get real. Because last year they went, and we reported this in real time. They basically went to Mr. Haslam. That would be Jim Haslam, and they basically got like an extra $3 million to throw at that freshman basketball player. Barnes has a fire in his belly, y'all. They went and got this guy from Bermuda. They did not like that Purdue came in here and took that kid from Greenville away from them. They said, "We'll show you something." That kid was going to go to Purdue. This kid they got really wants to be an engineer. And Rick Barnes got on the express and flew down there to Bermuda and charmed his mother. It's the most next level thing ever. Yo, it's unbelievable. The guys that will get after it in recruiting are always the guys that are going to really, really, really win at a high level. And I think that, look, you can win, but you got to me, when you're in college sports, you got to love the recruiting thing. That's why, Sean, this Tony Vitello guy going to Major League Baseball doesn't make any sense to me. Sean, is there a better recruiter on the planet than Tony for what he's done here? On the planet, Sean.
I wouldn't think. I mean, he has some competition. The Johnson at LSU and the Cat at Texas are awfully good. They have bigger histories and bigger brands in college, or I'll say legacy brands in college baseball. But no, if you take a look at what he's doing right now with his past class and these next two, he's the best recruiter.
Back to our phones we go. It's unbelievable. We'll get as many calls in as we humanly possible today on our TLD Logistics phone line. Let's go back to our phones and get our first civilian phone call in of the day. We had Watson Brown on, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats. We had Dudley Dawson on, who's in Hogville. And let's go to our phones. Hello, welcome in. You're on the air.
Tony, good afternoon.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen, the Columbus Kid.
Real quick on Vitello. Obviously, I think we're not even close to being down the road on that thing at all. Like, I don't think it's going to happen. But man, college baseball and MLB are two completely different sports. I think more so than basketball or football. Like, college baseball, to be honest, is kind of a circus. And
that's why I love it.
It's just such a different sport. Like, he would go do it and be successful. I mean, maybe not. But if he were to go, you build the statue the next day before he leaves and root for his team when they're not playing your team, because I don't see it. This is his baby. I don't think there's a coach in the country in any sport where the program is just completely his. Maybe Hurley at UConn basketball. This is his baby. That's why I never thought he'd ever take another college job, like, ever. But anyways.
I think you're right. I think you're right. He's got Total Control Racing here, TCR, which was great. The great slot car line back in the day where you could switch tracks anytime you wanted to. And you mean to tell me Tony's going to go let some squint-eyed Ivy League nerd tell him who can play, what his lineup is, who can pitch today, who can't pitch? I mean, come on, man. I mean, come on. But go ahead, Columbo.
Okay, the reason for the call, Tony, the blog today. All right, like, slow down, man. Like, he isn't 2019 Joe Burrow here. You're listing off schools that you said wish they had Joey Aguilar. Okay, the kid in Oregon is going to win the Heisman. The kid at Ohio State's like fourth in the country in passing efficiency. What are you talking about? If those schools thought they could use Joey Aguilar, they would have gone and gotten Joey Aguilar.
They didn't know who he was. They didn't know who he was.
Him off Ohio State's roster.
They didn't know who he was.
UCLA.
They didn't, and neither did you. Well, you were the same guy that told me it was over for Tennessee back in December. And then when they got this guy in the spring, you're the same guy that told me it was over then. When this guy walked out the door and we hang on, let me talk. They didn't know who he was. If Ohio State had a surefire thing at quarterback right now, a surefire thing. They've got a kid at quarterback they hope can grow into it by the end of the year. You and I both know that. Come on, let's get on, because you're talking about apples and oranges when you talk about that league. The last time he got on the field with a commensurate Southeastern Conference team, he looked very average at best. Yes or no?
That was the first game of the year.
Oh, okay, I'm just asking a question.
Coaches get more. First of all, Tony,
I'm asking a question.
If the coaches get more trust in him,
I'm asking a question.
More trust in him.
Okay. If they had Pavia or Aguilar, I mean, it's one of these veteran guys. If they had a veteran guy, you won't give Joey football any credit. That's your narrative.
He's going to grow into the role, and when he does, the college football season's a wrap because nobody's beating that team. The only team that could play with those guys is Texas, and that's only if Arch figures it out.
Okay, how about if Texas had him? How about if Texas had him? Do I get that from you or no? I don't get that concession either?
How do I know what Arch is going to look like by the end of the year?
If Texas had this kid, if Texas had Aguilar, you won't give Aguilar. If Texas had Aguilar, they would cut every net down possible, and the guys in Columbus would get absolutely destroyed by them. And you know that.
Tony.
But you won't say it. You know that.
Tony. They scored 13 offensive points Saturday in 58 minutes.
There you go.
Stop it.
You know it.
Okay?
You know it, and I know it.
If it weren't for Chris Brazzell making an unbelievable play on the Tarek Schoolboy 105-mile-an-hour fastball that Aguilar threw in his back shoulder, the season is over, and we are having a very
Sean, you see what we're doing? You see what we're doing here?
In fact,
This is
That
embarrassing.
would include Josh Heupel's job status, unfortunately.
So-
Okay?
Oh,
We're in a
come
very different
on.
conversation.
Oh, come on.
I'm not saying I would call for it, but we would start questioning some things if Chris Brazel doesn't make an unbelievable play
Go ahead,
on
Bri.
fourth down.
Go ahead, Bri.
Period.
Go ahead, Bri.
Come on.
Bri, you can't mock a guy that's coming in here being a takesman. I mean, the guy's he's being a takesman. I mean, he's having a terrible take.
Was ridiculous.
Do what? The blog was excellent today. The blog was excellent.
That blog was ridiculous.
And I'm honored you to read it.
A nice player here.
I'm honored you to read it.
He's been a nice player here so far. He's played
a
well.
Nice player. He's in the
They played-
Heisman Trophy. What do you mean he's a nice player?
And the guy that you said that the school he should have gone to is a leader for the Heisman Trophy.
Who literally got put in a straitjacket by Penn State Saturday night. Yes or no?
And he's
You want to knock Aguilar on the road?
Defender.
You want to knock Aguilar on the road? What about Moore on the road? He got put in a straitjacket.
Well, I have a team full of NFL players.
Oh, I don't. We don't get that concession. We don't get that concession from you. Okay, I want to make sure. What league's better, Mark? Hey, Mark, what league's better?
I don't know. I don't think the SEC is any good.
I know. I know, and you know, Mark. If you rank those teams and played them 1 through 16, the Big Ten might win 3 or 4 games. Come on, man, get real. You know
Tony,
that.
I'm an SEC.
Get
Tony,
real.
I'm an SEC homer. I'm a complete SEC homer. It's not even remotely close to what it used to be. Not even close.
What?
The talent is all spread out now.
What?
Okay? It's not even close to what it used to be as far as the gap. Not even remotely close. Not even close.
Well, since the Heisman is very much about perception of what have you done recently, if Max Gilbert would have made that field goal, I believe that Joey Aguilar not only would be the best story in college football, he'd be in the top 5 in the Heisman right now.
You're absolutely
Possibly.
right, Sean.
Possibly. And all I'm saying is that we're making this guy the 2019 Joe Burrow, and he's not that. Is he as bad as I thought he was going to be? Absolutely not. He's played very well. He's great in the Georgia game.
Oh, he's not Joe Burrow. He's having a great year,
He wasn't that good Saturday, guys. He won. He had one great drive at the end of the game. Other than that, he wasn't very good.
What about the guy in Oregon that you're
I disagree. I think he made.
What are you talking about?
I think he makes plays out of nowhere better than Hooker did.
Exactly.
I mean, if we're getting real, Hooker was a nice player.
That's all. There's a reason.
I don't think Aguilar is is Heisman worthy. I don't think Aguilar is an NFL player. I don't think he's an All-American. But I think you're kind of discounting the fact that he's come in here and added a completely different element to this team, and he makes plays out of nothing. That scramble play to the left when he got hit in the chest and found Mike Matthews, it was a floater, but he made Matthews down there. Manning don't make that play. There haven't been many quarterbacks around here in my 40 years that make that play.
It was a great play. But that's a far cry from saying that all these top teams would rather have Joey Aguilar than what they have.
I said if they had him. I didn't say they'd rather have
Joey
him.
Aguilar.
I didn't say they'd rather have him. I said if they had him.
He didn't say a trade. He said if they. And I think what he's saying is, what we're talking about is the production. If Florida had the production, I don't care what Lagway does in the NFL, that was dog poop throwing 5 interceptions.
That's Florida.
That's not even tried. I don't care what your star rating is. I don't care what your NFL is. That was absolutely given up on your team.
It's the same concept,
We're just talking
Sean.
about production.
Ohio State, Penn State, Alabama, Texas, Georgia.
If Texas had this guy, nobody would touch him. But you won't say that. You won't say, and you know it's true. But you are the type of guy that will not.
Tony,
you will never.
Nobody might touch him anyway.
You declared Nico off limits. You declared Nico conversation off limits. It's very much on limits, big boy. Very much on limits.
Nobody might touch Texas anyway, even with Arch. They're that good. I don't think you guys yesterday ranked the SEC team.
There you
Texas
go.
is the best team in the league.
There you go. So you're so in other words,
just for kicks, I watched that UCLA Northwestern game, just that nonsense.
Yes.
And his stats were okay. Nico is terrible.
That's the worst.
He's in fact regressed.
Mark will never give you that. Mark will never give you that.
What's Joey Aguilar doing at UCLA?
See, Mark will never give you that.
And I'm not
He'd be better than that guy.
Nico's broken. He's done.
He'd be better than that guy. He'd be better than that guy at UCLA.
UCLA is the worst team in the Power Four. Period. They are. They're terrible. They
likely have one of the worst quarterbacks in the Big Ten.
Fine. He's getting pressure on 70% of his dropbacks. Like, nobody can play the position doing that. Like, I mean,
he got Mark. Nico was the least pressured quarterback in college football last year,
and he's the most.
I didn't make those stats up.
I'm not saying he's great. Look, he's a bust. I'll say it. He's a bust completely. But this idea.
There you go.
These schools with these 5-star quarterbacks would be better with Joey Aguilar is insane.
Mark, you don't learn. And I appreciate your call. Thank you. And
they scored 13 offensive points Saturday in 58 minutes against Mississippi State. Mark, have
a good day.
They weren't playing Georgia.
Mark, have a good day. You made your point. My Rona.
He is awfully. He's well informed. But one thing about Mark, and I love Mark the caller. I do.
Yep.
He is. Once he gets on a hill to die on, he is very hard to remove from that.
Get severe on the TLD Logistics Hotline.
Mark's a tanksman.
Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Fall officially begins this month, so now is the perfect time to make sure your home's HVAC system is ready for the season ahead. Don't ignore the warning signs that your heating or cooling system is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need fast, reliable HVAC repairs, seasonal preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new high-efficiency system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Whatever HVAC problems you encounter, our certified technicians will make a full assessment and then provide the best long-term solution to keep your home comfortable again all year long. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morse here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team started at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we're the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care. I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw Premium Vodka. Please drink responsibly.
I say let's go, and I'll welcome you back. 865-200-5402. My name's T to the B. Mark got me a little hot under the collar. I need to calm things down. I'm calling on the callers now to turn the temperature down a little bit. Let's return this show to normalcy. Can we return this show to normalcy? I'm calling for So I'm just going to hit a random button here. I'm calling for normalcy on the program. Hello and welcome in to this caller. I'm turning the show over to you for some normalcy on our TLD Logistics phone lines.
as the playbook with William Pattison on the way next, and we're going to stay here and do some overtime as well. Go ahead to our caller. I need some normalcy.
Hell no, you can't get no normalcy today, Tony B. It's been a damn while since I've been on here because I had no idea you switched from 99.7 to 1340 because you wouldn't even pass the information. I had to find out from my old buddy at the steel mill that you was on 1340. How does that get done? The guy that brings you ratings, the guy that puts your ratings on top, let you go worldwide. How the hell does that happen?
Brian Hartman, you produce the show daily. Did you not make Florida aware of what had occurred?
Well, I encourage Florida to, I apologize for not letting Florida know. If I had his number, I would have.
And Florida, it's funny. You've lost my number to text me after the last Florida debacle with the Gators, or I'd have let you know then. But for some reason, Florida, we couldn't find – exactly, you're acting like you can't find me. Florida, we couldn't find you with a search warrant, bruh.
Hey, bruh. Hey, listen, I'm in the same spot I've always been.
Come on, bruh.
Listen,
Let's keep it real, bruh.
I'm going to call you every chance I get. I don't care. Listen, Billy, that's your time to go.
Come on now. You know it's true.
Shouldn't have been starting. Whoever was doing the reps during the damn offseason, that's who should have been the quarterback if he was hurt. Because y'all kept saying he was hurt. But didn't nobody let the quarterback, Terrell Jones Jr. know that he's the man. And you know what? He should have been the man. But, hey, who am I? I'm just a lonely old fan, Tony B.
Well, you got there are a couple quarterbacks in the league that are each hurting their team, and Sean mentioned it earlier.
He's one of them.
Well, he's one of them, and the guy at LSU is another one. The guy at LSU is either playing with an oblique injury or a shoulder injury, but at either case, you can tell that guy can't push the ball downfield. And the chatter is they're going to go away from him and shut him down for like a month, which they need to. They need to do that, Florida. And your guy, there's a freshman sitting behind him. If I were them, I would go to that freshman because Sean's right. What happened in that 5-interception game, that's just a guy going into business for himself, being – what would you call that, Sean? Like irresponsible, selfish? What would the term for that be?
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that he's well coached. Florida has probably very, very good coaches, but he just went. It appeared to me that he just went on his own agenda. I'm not saying he's throwing the game. I'm not saying he's trying to lose, but he was not putting his teammates in the best position to win.
But let me say this, bro. I can understand where you're coming from to a certain extent now, Sean, and I'm gonna tell you why. Who's calling those high school ass plays? That's Billy Napier. I mean,
That's a horrible offense.
He's trying to bring his team back.
Yeah, it's horrible.
He's trying to bring his team back, bro. And you know what? When you the type of player that he is, bro, he's trying to put his people in the right position. But those dumbass play calls, man, you gotta admit, bro, those are some dumb play calls. They don't stretch the field. With all the receivers they got, they don't stretch the field. They don't do a thing, bro.
Billy Napier and James Franklin need to get a room, Florida, and conjugate their offense. Because that's some of the worst offense I've ever seen. Both of them. Just awful.
And the defense is great, dude. This defense is stopping everybody. I just don't understand, bro, how they.
Oh my gosh.
I can't understand how the faculty man in Florida, man, letting this dude get away with this, bro.
You're going to twist Arch Manning up like a pretzel this week is my prediction.
Hey, man, Arch Manning ain't what y'all thought he was going to be.
No, sir.
He's slow, too.
He looks like slaw to me. Hey, if Texas had Aguilar, Florida, if you guys had Aguilar with your defense, you'd be unbelievable. They would trade their quarterback for Aguilar tomorrow, Cinco. You know that's true, right?
Well, I hear. I don't think Billy Napier's a great play caller or offense. He never has been, but even back when he was in Louisiana. But the thing is with the Lagway and Nussmeier is you can't abandon your your fundamentals when you're trying to make plays. I mean, I hear you what you say about, well, you know, the type of player he is. There's no type of quarterback that should be consistently thrown into triple coverage. There's no quarterback that should be rolling to his right when you can throw the ball quickly out of bounds and he throws against his body to the middle of the field. That's stupid.
It's unbelievable, Andy.
That's not a play call. That's just showing your rear end. Like, hey, I'm going to try to showcase myself. I would sit him. I don't know what you guys have as a backup, but I will say this: if healthy, I would rather have Graham Mertz from last year than what I'm seeing DJ Lagway this year. Not last year, this year.
This year, they have a 5-star freshman sitting there. Hey, by the way,
5-star, bro.
By the way,
Jacksonville.
All right, hey,
hometown Jacksonville.
Admit this to me. If you guys had Aguilar, you'd probably only have one loss right now. True or false? Because Martin Columbus doesn't want to admit this. He won't admit it. But you will.
I'm not going.
I'm
not going to admit that.
You will. You're an honest man. You're an honest man, and you will admit it. Hang on. I'm going to give you one more chance. I'm going to give you one more chance here. Hang on. I'm going to put you back on hold. Let's act like the call. Okay, so Mark in Columbus just called and made a total fool of himself, okay? Like a complete horse's ass of himself. No offense to him. I love him. I'm for him, not against him. But he's really like a borderline psycho caller. Now, I love him. Florida, I'm gonna give you another crack at this. You guys have a great defense, not good, a great defense, and have a pretty solid weapons on offense. If you plugged in a good veteran quarterback, for instance, either a Diego Pavia or Joey Football, you would only have maybe at the most one loss right now. Do you buy that?
Hell no, because Aguilar hadn't shown me a damn thing, Tony B. I don't know what he showed you, but he haven't shown me a damn thing. Because you know what? He struggled. He struggled the whole 3 quarters with Mississippi State. He struggled.
Oh, that's the new narrative.
Y'all gonna see what y'all see anyway.
That's the new
narrative.
narrative.
Y'all gonna see what y'all see because y'all die hard. Y'all die hard. And I'm just a guy that, you know what, to boost your ratings and get you guys fired up for the next game. And guess what?
You don't have a sense.
Y'all think Aguilar is King David now, bro. That's a shame.
You don't have a sense you were born with, and you're out of here. But I'm glad you found the show again. Let me get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on the air.
Tony, excuse me, 4th-generation listener, 3rd-generation caller. Let's bring some levity back to the show. Florida is an absolute, well, I'll just leave it at that. Tony, I was born in Florida, but my heart will always be in Tennessee. I need to get the hell out of that state. It's a cesspool. But, Tony, let's do one thing. You caught my ear about Vitello. Let's set one thing straight. There's no way in Hades that Vitello is going to leave the University of Tennessee kingdom that he has built. He has all the autonomy in the world.
Yes.
He has basically designed a brand-new stadium. The checkbook is open. Danny White has said on the record, my job is to get out of his way and make sure when he needs something, I get that for him. He loves it here. You don't get that in MLB. One of his strengths is mentoring young men, right? I know Cinco alluded to that. He's great at it. He's great at mentoring and molding young men, and you don't get that chance at MLB. He's also a fabulous recruiter. You don't get that chance at MLB. It's a grind. And, do I think he'd be successful if the Cubs came calling or maybe the Cardinals one day after winning a couple more natties? Yeah, he would absolutely be successful. But Danny White's not an idiot. He will open up the purse strings. I don't think Vitello's leveraging this for a raise. I think he's well paid, and I think he realizes that. But this is a big nothing burger. Vitello is going nowhere.
You know, I had a guy last night tell me he's on the airplane. I'm sitting here going, okay, if he's on the airplane, how come I'm texting with him? I guess he's got incredible service on a private plane. Maybe I've lived a sheltered life, and he's watching the game too. Maybe he's up in the air watching the game. I'm just sitting there going, and then I said, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, he's with the Giants right now. I said, no, he's watching the game right now. He's not with the Giants right now. How do you know that? I'm texting with him. And
well, Tony, you can text on Delta.
I invited him down to Calhoun's. See, I live a sheltered life. I invited him down to Calhoun's. He says, well, we're busy recruiting. He didn't say I'm going to be in San Francisco at a press conference. We got a huge weekend coming up, that weekend, Arkansas. We have all this stuff going on. He told me, he said, I got a guy, if we get him, he's going to make the Hall of Fame one day. I'm like, huh? And then he said it out loud to somebody in the media.
Tony, he said, I'd love to, basically paraphrasing, introduce him to Todd Helton so he can get a picture, because it'd be good to see two, Hall of Famers together, one future and one current. But
see?
And he's not full of hyperbole either.
No, he doesn't do that. No, he doesn't do that. That's right. And Sean said he's got the number one class 2 years in a row. He also knows
that kid's not going to that kid's not going to play one inning in
yes.
Lindsey Nelson, because he's going pro. But you still got to entertain those guys. Tony, I'll say this. I don't want to say that Vitello is bigger than the program, but he is damn close.
I agree with that.
I can't think of an example of, if you take Vitello away from Tennessee, it doesn't crumble. But I'm telling you, it goes from a 10 on the interest factor to probably a 6 on a lot of diehards.
Well, let's do this.
The shadow he cast is unbelievable.
How about Pat Summitt and the Lady Vols? Will you give me that? We saw what happened when 100%. She walked out the door. We saw what happened when she had to leave, and that was a terrible thing that happened. But that's the type of impact that you would have if Tony left this program. And to pretend otherwise, I think would be to pretend otherwise.
Tony, he could go to Missouri tomorrow, and within 5 years, probably 3 years, have them competing in Omaha. And I mean that. He is that darn good. He has more charisma in his little pinky than most people have in their entire bodies. The guy is the program. He's built it. He's not going anywhere. Last thing on the way out, Tony, this Joey Aguilar, this kid it's amazing. We should talk about the California kids. I mean, you think of Casey Clausen,
yep.
you think of Joey Aguilar, you think of Blake Burke, and I'm sure there's lots of others. But, man, the impact that Aguilar has had on this program is tremendous. And for other clowns to take anything away from Joey football, Joey Swagular, is absurd. That kid is a perfect fit in Knoxville, a perfect fit for University of Tennessee. And Tennessee is not 3-1 without that kid. He put us in position to upset Georgia. He's got the it factor, Tony. He doesn't panic. He's calm, cool, and collected. Part of that is he is 24. But I ride with him all day long and twice on Sundays. Tony, you're the Dean GBO.
And if Texas had him, they'd be cutting the nets down, and they would win it and blow everybody out. But Martin Columbus won't admit that, because he's got his own little – what's he got? He's got his own narrative. A quick timeout. William Pattison. We will stay on, do some overtime. It's unbelievable, Andy.
Are you stuck in a dead-end job or ready for a new challenge? Do you feel like it's time to try a new career? Well, it's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. My friends at TLD Logistics have some really exciting opportunities for you to learn a new skill. With a new 5-acre driving academy that's now under new leadership with all new course material. And the best part, it's absolutely free. What a great deal to set you on the road to higher pay. And TLD Logistics even offers weekly stipends to offset food and gas expenses. In 6 weeks' time, you could complete this course and be in compliance with FMCSA regulations. Then you're ready for the open road of opportunity. What are you waiting for? It's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. Visit tldlogistics.com. That's tldlogistics.com. TLD Logistics.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today. Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Absolutely outstanding. 865-200-5402, the numero dos. Keep it for future use because all lines are jammed. We are heading for a TLD Logistics overdrive overtime. I want to thank all of our great guests that joined us today. And Mark and the Lumbo, if you're listening, you in Florida ought to get a room. You two guys, you two guys ought to check into the Hotel Illogic. Both of you. I would give you guys the master suite in the Hotel Illogic. You could sit up there and break it down scientifically. In the meantime, the playbook with William Pattison is on the way next. This guy's making me money. This William Pattison guy's making me money. Love you. Appreciate you. Love your show. Tomorrow, we will have a full cast of characters in here on our Thursday edition. Love, peace.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
LFG, y'all. LFG. I mean...
It's TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime, presented by TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com. And now let's go to the guys with today's edition of TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime.
Fired up, folks, and prepared to be with you. Absolutely pump. Brian Hartman, what's your level of pump right now for the Major League playoffs today?
Well, when they're having teams face elimination, I always get a little bit extra excited for that.
Extra juice.
And the Yankees and Dodgers they were in the World Series last year, and both of them are having to fight through a wild card round now. So The Yankees literally have to win 2 games in a row or else they're done. And the Dodgers are probably going to sweep the Reds, so we won't have both of those teams out. But, yeah, the Cubs, I think they advance. And Detroit, Cleveland, that's going to be a good one. I think that could go 3.
Yeah, both those teams' lineups are sickening when you look at them. To be playoff teams and to be that punchless. I think Cleveland hit 1 ball out of the infield yesterday, essentially.
You know, when you've taken 6 teams in each league, you're eventually watering down your postseason.
Oh, no doubt.
And the Reds really didn't go take the wild card. The Mets just sort of peated away for the last 3.5 months. Is what happened.
Ewad's not going to like you saying that, but I think they were 14.5 games up at one point or some crazy thing. The Mets had to try to not make the postseason from that torrid start they had, but I salute the Mets because, well, I almost became a Mets fan back in the day. Let's go to our phones and get our next call in. Hello and welcome, because the Phillies almost did that to me with their horrendous management, but they've since gotten it together. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Tony.
Good afternoon, Holly.
How are you guys doing?
Holly, it's a beautiful day to be alive and well. Thank you.
It is. I think that instead of sending them to Hotel Illogic, we need to send my friend Florida, and was it Richard that was going crazy?
No, that's Mark and Columbo. Mark and the Lumbo. Mark and the Lumbo.
I think
do that to
we
Richard.
need to do a GoFundMe to send them out to California, to the Hotel California, so they can be miserable for a few months and get their act together and realize what we lost, which we didn't really lose, and they can just sit out there and cheer on UCLA this year, the rest of the year. I think that would be a good punishment for them.
Mark and the Lumbo loves him some. He loves this Nico guy, doesn't he, Brian? It's very strange, his love affair with Nico.
Yeah, he seems to, he wants to say, come on here now. Let's the guy's going to be a first-round draft pick. And
first-round draft
I'd
pick.
have paid him. He'd have paid him. He'd have paid him.
I'd have loved to have seen Mark and the Lumbo. If Big Nick walks in the room in that caption bubble that you could put, like, oh, man, look at him. Look at Big Nick. I love Big Nick. Can you imagine what the caption bubble would say? I wish I was Polynesian.
It's crazy.
Crazy, Holly. The whole thing's crazy. Crazy,
The
Holly.
reason I called in was...
Are you like on a
because,
speakerphone or something? I can hardly hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, let me
Yeah.
Fix it. I'm sorry.
We're going to have heat with each other
be
here,
like
Holly.
Titansville.
There.
Bless his heart. Okay.
Thank you.
Is that better?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Okay. No, I'm a baseball girl first and foremost, so I had to comment on the Tony thing. And I just want to tell you, if I would be upset about anything, it would be him leaving. I'm not upset at all. I think this is 100% bogus. I think that, like everyone, I was alarmed when I heard it. I always get alarmed when I think anybody's, interested in him, but everybody's interested in him. So, no big surprise. So, like I always do, I do research and dug deep, and I was like, where did this all start? And so forth. And there's nothing there. There is one sports guy that is out west that I think is a pro baseball sports guy that wrote a tweet, maybe wrote an article, and in the article or the tweet there was a one-line sentence about Tony, and he was mainly talking about the GM at San Francisco and, that he was getting fired and blah, blah, blah. But that one thing went viral and, had a lot of clicks and tons of likes and shares. And, he probably put Tony's name in there just so he could get clicks and shares and likes because that's the world we live in now. And I think that's the end of the story. And then everybody started, reading because, there were tons of things on X about it. But anybody that knows Tennessee baseball and knows a little bit about TV, he travels all the time. He's obsessed with recruiting. He's on an airplane all the time. And one of his biggest recruiting areas is the state of California. And, he probably, I'm guessing, and, I don't know Tony, so I'm just guessing. He probably was out in California recruiting. And then he loves to go to baseball games, and he thought, I'll go over to see the San Francisco team play. And I'm not sure because I can't remember, but don't we have some VFLs that play for San Francisco now?
Drew Gilbert does. But the story is he was in Colorado because there are a few Tennessee players on that team, including the head honcho, who had a really nice season for himself. And I guess there are a couple pitchers that are out there as well. So the point is that apparently that's when the Giants cozied up to him and tried to talk to him. And, look, if I was Tony, I would use any interest they had in me, and I would use it to grow my brand bigger. But there's no bigger advertisement.
Absolutely.
There's no bigger advertisement for Tennessee baseball than what happened last night on that mound because that Crochet guy absolutely shoved against Bino's Yankees. He shoved it right up Bino's little keister, Holly.
He did, and I'm not a pro gal on any of the sports. I just love college stuff. But since all these guys from Tennessee, have gone pro and are really good, and one of them being Garrett Crochet, I follow him. And I was looking at that last night, and when he struck that guy out, oh, my gosh. And the way, I couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. And I was also looking, do you realize, because I didn't realize this until last night, Ben Joyce is up in the rarefied air with some old-timers in his fastball. I had no idea that he was like in the top 4.
Oh, yeah.
He is so close to being the fastest fastball player that's ever lived.
That's right. And last night, Crochet, speaking of which, threw a 102-mile-an-hour fastball on his 117th pitch of the night. The fastest he'd thrown all night. That's how amped up he was.
I'm like, how do you do that?
With I think it was a 2-2 count. He smoked him, and the Yankee batter stood there and thought it was a 3-2 count because he thought he walked, and he totally struck him out. It caught every piece of the zone known to mankind. It was unbelievable.
I couldn't believe it. It was sitting there. Of course, obviously, it made me feel so good. But anyway, back to Tony. I don't think there's anything to it, but I do think I mean, he's a very smart man. We know that.
Yep.
He always needs to make sure that Danny White and the powers that be know what they've got and make sure that he keeps his stock as high as possible. And, you know, because I was looking at the positives and the negatives of him moving out there, everything from the tax base to being away from his family and all that. Because, y'all, California is a long, long, long way away. It
Damn
just
straight.
Is. And, I mean, I just was out in Vegas, and I couldn't believe how long it took me to get there and how far it was. And just it's almost a whole different world out there. And the only thing that's really wonderful to me about California is, I mean, the weather in San Francisco is beautiful. Now, I don't think the man that I think that I know would move to San Francisco for pretty weather.
It's 70 degrees every day. Yeah, I mean, 70 degrees every day, and which is great. But Tony wouldn't be able to show off in a Speedo like he does around here, you know?
Oh,
Holly, you went there. You're the one that went there.
I've never seen him in Speedo.
Yeah, he does that. He does that. He swims in the Tennessee River in a Speedo.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Holly, thank you. I appreciate you. It's good talking to Holly. She doesn't buy it, Sean. She can do.
I think he sticks around. I think it would be great if he made a public flirtation with either or the Braves and that, and then comes back and says, man, I'm a VFL. My heart's here in Knoxville, and let's go recruit.
If I were him and I was getting on a jet with the Giants, I would invite the media to go out there and watch me go. I'd orchestrate that thing.
Gabe Kapler's still in the game.
Wonderful to be wanted. Who?
Gabe Kapler.
Look him up, Bri. The Giants went through him several years ago. He's a stone-cold fraud. Let's go back to the phones. Anybody that would rub coconut oil on their coconuts can't be all there. And tans himself. And then when it comes to eating dessert, will put the dessert in his mouth and then spit it out. That's what Gabe Kapler does. You talk about a damn weirdo. Let's go back to the phones on your TLD Logistics phone lines. It's unbelievable, Andy. It's been incredible today. So we've broken it down scientifically. Had a few fireworks last hour. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. This is Brian from Columbus, Ohio.
Hey, Brian. Are you on a speaker or a Bluetooth or something of that effect?
I am on my earbuds. I'll put you on my radio.
Thank you, my man. I appreciate that. I want everybody to hear you, Brian. Brian,
are you a month ago?
Okay, are you friends with Columbus?
Never met the man.
Thank you.
And I have a few thoughts about him. I actually had several things I was going to talk about.
Please take your time. The floor is yours. You've waited for a while. Take your time. You're among friends. Let's hang out.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I called a month ago. While I live in Ohio, I'm from Knoxville. And I do not claim the state of Ohio, but I tell you what, Columbo, didn't he say a month ago that one of the elite programs in the nation is Penn State? Go ahead.
He did. You're right.
And he can't answer the question. You asked him, what's the best conference in the nation? He thinks he's a Big Ten guy, and he's being influenced by the locals here. He clearly doesn't understand the SEC top to bottom is way more balanced. And when he goes on and on to say, Joey, football isn't that good. Are you? And he says, his last drive in the game in Mississippi State was a great drive. I mean, that was incredible. He led the team in the fourth quarter to tie the game. And he, like other callers have said, he basically all but won the game against Georgia. He's certainly a great football player. I don't really think that's debatable. And I think maybe his real argument is trying to challenge you on, are the pros better than the Joes? You know, I think that's really what he's trying to challenge you on. And it's clear he's in the wrong side of that. And I got to tell Florida, one more thing on Florida. Florida is now, the football team is now like Kentucky. We don't get concerned about them anymore. And that feels good.
How about that, Bri? We're not concerned about Florida. He's singing off your songbook, Bri. He's chalking up a win.
All I know is if it'd be more like that if we had if competent coaching last decade, they probably win 8 out of 10 against them.
That's exactly right, Brian. The only reason Tennessee
if they're competently coached.
That's it. That's exactly right, Brian.
And they would be close to Kentucky status.
Old Bocce boy botched 2 of them down there. Old Bocce boy.
Yeah, they're not looking so good, and I'm anticipating a win down there in Gainesville.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Can I get to my stuff I had was pondering about? I can't say much about Tony Vitello, but I will say this: Tony Vitello and Pat Summitt are elite, great Tennessee football coaches, Hall of Fame football coaches at Tennessee. I know we've been talking about Josh Heupel being good enough and a good coach. He's on his way to possibly proving that he's an elite, great coach. But Vitello and Summitt are for sure elite, great coaches. I wanted to say this. You said last week a lot about Lane Kiffin, and it made me do a comparison here. I feel like Nico and Lane Kiffin are kind of similar. They both left Tennessee and will never have it as good as they had. They both will fail, go on to fail, and they will both regret having left Tennessee. Now, Lane leaving Tennessee caused us to be in the wilderness for 15 plus years. Fortunately for us, because of Joey football, we are back and better than ever this year. But Lane Kiffin, he did some things to us that are unforgivable, Tony. I can remember the night when he left and getting a phone call from buddies, and I was like, "You're got to be kidding me. This is not happening." And I can remember in this time period, after Fulmer was fired, after having 2 coaches for 30 years, we could pick anybody we wanted in the nation. In the nation, we had the pick of the litter, and we went to the NFL and we got a young up and coming coach, and he came to Tennessee, and he left us in the middle of the night, and then he left us 15 years in the wilderness. And I can tie Lane Kiffin's leaving us directly to the Greg Schiano mess.
Oh, there's no question. That's what it led to. Hey, Sean, let me ask you something. Brian in Columbus. If Kiffin would have stayed, Sean, how successful was he going to be in your mind?
Geez, he was obviously going to be successful because he's turned out to be a great head coach. What he's done at Ole Miss is incredible. But I think at that time, I think his candle burned not even at both sides of the wick. I think it burned in the middle.
I agree with that.
And he was personally and professionally doing things that would sabotage the great success we think he might have had.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting read on him. I think he's different now. Brian, I've said on the air, and it's hard for me to say this in no microphone. I think he'd be an incredible coach here. I think he'd win a national championship here if they brought him back. But I understand people like you that say it's unforgivable, because the thing you have with Heupel is, or the thing you would have with a guy like, I'm not sure Heupel loves recruiting. Like the way Tony loves recruiting, these guys that love recruiting are the ones that win way up here. That's just, you got to like wake up every day and think about recruiting. For instance, and I don't think James Franklin's all that good, but the Penn State fans are all over him because he went recruiting for most of their 2 week. Like they had a 2 weeks off, and they're all over him because he went recruiting, and they had the game plan and had the plan that they had. But Franklin is a even though they haven't had great classes the last couple of years, he's a get after it on the recruiting trail guy. I think Kiffin, if given a second opportunity here, if our coach ever left for whatever reason, I would look at Lane Kiffin if Tennessee had an opportunity. And it would not bother me if they hired him, because I think he would win here.
I hear you. I hear you, Tony. And I think Kiffin for sure has a lot of traits to be desired for a head coach. But I think in this new era we're in, and even moving past the last 5 years of some rocky weather, Watson Brown said it last week. What matters most? The T on the side of the helmet. And that guy left us. He betrayed us.
No, you're right.
And we want people here to be at Tennessee, to choose us, to be with us, And our coach now says there's nothing more important than the T on the side of the helmet. Let's live in what we're doing right now. Let's be excited about that. Lane Kiffin, he's behind us, and he'll always regret it. And he's probably, yes, he's a better man. He's matured. He's all these things that you hope you do when you get older, and you sow your seeds in your youth. But he ain't coming. I don't want him back. I want what we got right now, and I want us to be loyal to our team.
It's interesting.
The last thing I'll say, and this is in regards to Nega Dave, after the game on Saturday, I didn't call in because I had a lot of emotions, and I'm exhausted. Sometimes, I've always was raised respect your elders, so this is not to be critical of Dave, but maybe sometimes it's best to sit on it for a second before you throw out your thoughts emotionally.
Well, very interesting, and I appreciate that. Unfortunately for Nega Dave, he's a raw nerve. He's a raw nerve. We go back to our phones. 865-200-5402. Do you buy the Tony Vols and the Giants thing? Do you buy it? A dear friend of mine that knows the program well said, I don't know if you've talked to Tony Vols today, but I hear where he's at is currently 3 hours behind us, TB. Cinco, what do you make of that? Do you buy it?
Well, I have no way to know. So be it. So be it.
Sean, would you keep going to games if he left?
He always went to games.
I know you had season tickets.
He always went to games.
Yeah,
Sean's always gone.
I've been going to tickets long before most people.
Yeah, Sean was country when it wasn't
not
cool
that I'm
over
great.
there.
It's just I said it before. My roommate was an outfielder there, and I just liked going, and I've always gone when I've lived here. But look, you're right. Someone said Tony Vitello is not bigger than the program. He is the program. He's way bigger than the program. But like Pat Summitt, would the program go down? Absolutely, it would go down. Would Josh Elander, follow the guy and be the guy? Probably not. No one would. I mean, you got Haley's Comet there as your head coach. He's the face of college baseball.
Guy gotta get on the phone now.
But if that's what he wants to do, so be it. I don't think he would do it.
I don't think
if I were in his position. But I'm an old man now, and I've lived life, and I've seen what can happen when you chase dreams like that. What happened to Spurrier? What happened to
that's right.
All the guys that went out there?
It never works out. You're right,
Nick
Sean.
Saban came back. Nick Saban wasn't Nick Saban until he came back.
I would fly out there if I were him. Like I just said, I would listen.
Sure.
I would invite the media. If I'm getting on the airplane, I'd invite the media.
Absolutely.
I think in 10 years I could see him entertaining that more than I can now.
I don't know if my friend
he's put so much into what he's done here that I just don't see how he could just walk up and leave it right now.
I say VIP play Will Heflin ought to put something up right now about his former coach. Is Tony Vols going or is he not going? I got to call Heflin and see if we can get that up over at VIP Play. You go claim your welcome bonus. Bet $20 or more. Get $100 in bonus bets immediately. My Flyers tomorrow night take on the Islanders in preseason NHL hockey. I won some money there tonight on some preseason NHL hockey. It's a soft market. I'm just kidding. I just threw a bet on there to have some fun. I'm going to double it up tomorrow night. They're live always, 200-plus leagues, numerous bet types, props, options. There's a great amount of stuff going on right now. The WNBA last night, that team in Indiana, Bri, they continue to fight, Bri. No Caitlin Clark. Aaliyah Boston fouled out last night. I know you were watching it last night, Bri.
No, I didn't see it.
Interesting. VIP play. If you have a bet in mind, can't find it at your sports book, and it's compliant, they'll make it for you in the state of Tennessee over at VIP play, where everybody gets treated like a VIP. And I wonder if Will Heflin would put it up there. Will, Tony Vols, and then what the number would be. Tony Vols leaving, Bri, would be plus what? What would you make it? Like plus 5,000? He's not leaving here. He's not
I would say you can't put it high enough.
Gambling problem 800-889-9789. 21 and over and located in the state of Tennessee to place a bet. And if Tony ever left, I'd never talk to him again. He'd urinate me off. He knows better than that. Of course, I don't mean that. I'm like Sean. I mean, I wish anybody well if that's what they want to do. Surely that can't be in the cards for him, can it? Let's go back to the phones. On your TLD Logistics overdrive overtime, now I got somebody telling me that's really, really close to him saying, hey, I think he's there, TB. Jeez Louise, man. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
I want to address where you guys messed up with Columbo. But first, if you're Tony's agent and you're not demanding that he at least entertain this, you're not doing your job. You need to let this linger as long as you can, because there's more money to be made as the head baseball coach at Tennessee. I mean, we can make fun of the mullet out in Stillwater for all those times he used us to get more money, but you can't blame his agent or him for doing what he did. I don't see any way a MLB franchise hires a college baseball coach.
The Milwaukee Brewers did it with Pat Murphy from Arizona State. That's why we're here, and it worked out.
Did they hire him directly from Arizona State?
Yeah, he's a baseball coach. Yes, he left the.
Did Pat play in the major leagues?
I don't know what his background is. He coached at Maryville College, though. The people are telling me.
Yeah, I need to go look that up. Major league locker rooms with guys that don't have major league ties. I'm betting Pat has a major league tie. I'm betting he played at that level, maybe before he was in college coaching, was an assistant at the major league level. I don't know. I'm guessing because it's those major league players are so elitist about who they'll listen to, and they don't like taking orders from a guy who didn't do what they're being asked to do now at that level. So
Pat Murphy has been in the Milwaukee system, working his way up since 2016. He didn't get hired from Arizona State to be the manager there.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, they don't. Major league teams don't even like hiring guys that are in their minor league organizations that are proven to be great managers if they didn't play in the majors or weren't on a staff in the majors and got promoted, like, from pitching coach or whatever. They're so elitist about it. Anyway, I don't blame Tony for entertaining and getting more money out of Danny White if he can, and his agent working it that way, which is what's probably going on, if there is anything going on at all. Where you guys messed up with Mark, you had him on the ropes, but you didn't ask him the one question. Would Texas have won at Columbus if Joey Aguilar was the quarterback instead of Arch Manning?
And what's the answer to that?
That was the question.
What's the answer to that, Rusty?
Of course they would have.
Why won't that guy admit that?
Arch had guys open all day.
Why wouldn't that guy admit that? He'll never admit it, Rusty. That guy will never admit that.
No, and he's right about his answer to Arch may figure it out and they win it all in the playoffs. Arch could come alive. But that day, Joey wins that football game because there were guys open. Arch is just one-hopping them all over the place. Clean pockets, guys open against that elite Ohio State defense. Who there's only there's only 3 elite teams in the country, and that's Oregon, Penn State, and Ohio State. The conference overall isn't better, but those are the only 3 elite teams in the country. I'm quoting somebody, but Arch had guys open, had time to throw against that elite defense in Columbus, and he was one-hopping them. Joey would have won that football game.
The other thing about this guy, Columbus, says he purports to be an SEC guy and a Tennessee fan and all this stuff, and then he proceeds to tell me that league that is close to you with a couple teams, one of whom lost to USC, the other of whom got destroyed with Northwestern, is going to sit there with a straight face and tell me that conference is comparable to this league, or that this league is lesser than that league? I mean, is he out of his damn mind?
I think he's admitted to me that top to bottom, it's not even close. The SEC's middle to bottom is 1,000 times better than the Big Ten's. He just thinks the elite programs are those 3 I named, and that the SEC doesn't have any elite programs. He thinks they're all very good, like 1 through 8. And that's his argument. But I don't think there's much difference between Texas and Ohio State. There wasn't on a field at home for that team. I don't think there's much difference between Oregon and Alabama or Penn State and Tennessee. It's so minimal. So I think he's completely wrong, and those are the only 3 elite teams. But that's his argument. But yes, Joey wouldn't have lost at LSU that night with that Florida team. Hell, Florida wouldn't have lost that night at LSU if they would have thrown no passes. If they would have handed it off every down, they would have won that ball game. Now Joey nor Lagway might not have won the game at Miami that Florida played because they couldn't do anything offense. They couldn't hand the ball off and get a half an inch. But the LSU game would have been a win. The South Florida game, Joey wins those games. Florida's got 1 loss right now at worst with Joey as their quarterback, and that's your point.
You know what we don't know, guys, is if Miami's back, because they have a damn great defense. It's unbelievable how much defense they have.
But Notre Dame was better than Miami. Miami just kicked a game-winning field goal. Miami scored 2 fluky touchdown passes where Beck threw up prayers and they were answered.
He's not very good.
He's been really good since that game, but that night he wasn't anything special. Again, I watched that. I think Notre Dame was better that night. I think Notre Dame was the better team against A&M. They lost both of those ball games. So you can lose ball games and be the better team. Hell, we saw that 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago in Knoxville against Georgia. We saw that Georgia against Alabama, the better team lost. It happens all the time.
You're not coming off that, are you? That Alabama team's better than Georgia, Rusty, but I'm glad you have your narrative. And you're staying to it.
No. Georgia outgained them.
You're committed to the bet. You're committed to the bet.
Bama didn't score a point in the second half.
Uh-huh.
The difference in that ball game was Ty Simpson had time to throw because Georgia can't get to the quarterback, and Alabama was smart enough to play zone the whole time. That was it.
Well, the better team won.
And Stockton.
If they played again, who would win, Rusty?
If Georgia just decides to do something else besides Cash Jones, or if that guy catches that pass,
hey, Bri,
that could have been different.
Tony, you did say yourself that if they'd have handed it to anybody but the water boy, it was a touchdown.
I didn't say that. No, I said.
Why
are you?
Anybody else that was at least.
I did not say that. I said, why are they?
Why
are they doing that? I said, in the moment, why are you doing that? I never said it was.
They had a guy averaging 9 yards per carry for Georgia, and they gave it to that guy. So that's stupidity on Kirby. So that's a worse team. If they played 10 more times, it would be 5-5 probably. That's my guess. If we played Georgia 10 times, it'd be 5-5 on neutral.
I don't think that. No, no, they're better than us.
Georgia doesn't have a good pass rush.
They're better than we are.
They don't. They don't have anybody that gets to the quarterback well enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's their big problem on defense. And surely to God, Tim Banks wouldn't be stupid enough not to play zone against Stockton again.
We had Georgia at the right point and the right time, in the right spot, in the right stadium, at the right point, had our foot on their throat and couldn't get it home, man.
Oh, yeah. As you said, ball goes through the uprights.
Yeah,
Josh Heupel doesn't pucker up a little bit.
No, time and place. Yep.
Everybody misses the point on that ball game. It wasn't the field goal. It wasn't the pucker. It was the Tim Banks man-to-man stuff. The film's there. He was horrible. He chose to play Stockton the wrong way. And I like Banks. I love him. I think he does a really good job 11 games a year. As far as the Mississippi State game goes, and we scored 13 points in 28 minutes on offense, Joey threw a touchdown pass to Mike Matthews he dropped. Joey threw a touchdown pass to Chris Brazil that was called OPI. Joey threw a pass on fourth down to Star Thomas that if Mike Matthews just blocks his guy, it's a walk-in touchdown. There was a lot of points left on the board that weren't left on the board by number 6. That's looking at the game through a very narrow lens, and Columbo tends to do that.
Rusty, thank you. Guys, I don't buy that Tennessee, I think at that point in time it was a great time to get Georgia, Cinco. Like a couple months from now, I don't think we'd beat them. We had a great spot, a great opportunity early in the year to get them. I don't think it's a 5-5 deal if we played them.
Well, I see what you're saying, but if you're going to tell me that in the future game that we're going to have Jermod McCoy and Colton Hood as our starting corners,
great point.
If we're going to have Jackson Moy and David Hobbs, 2 of our top 3, and then you're going to move David Sanders to right tackle and Jesse Perry to right guard and Wendell Moe to his natural left guard, I'd like to see that. Because what I saw was that with all those injuries, we didn't get lucky to be in that position. When we didn't get unlucky, we missed the kick. But I didn't see a whole lot of difference between those two. Plus, also, I don't think Gunnar Stockton can play better than he played against us.
I don't think Georgia's going to become elite, though. I think they're good, but I just don't see. I don't see them becoming a step above where they're just unreachable for anybody. That's good.
I agree with that. But to say, you split 500 with them, I'm
not saying they'd beat them, but I mean, I don't think they'd be untouchable.
No.
Here's another thing.
I don't think it's a great team.
I don't think anybody's untouchable in this league.
I haven't seen Tennessee beat Kirby Smart, so I don't know that it exists. I mean, you can be good on paper, you can be good on, but can you win the game? I don't know that.
That's another fair thing to say. As for Alabama went to Georgia's house and beat them. They're better than they are. I mean, you can win in somebody's building, you're better. You can sit there and say all the schematic stuff and all this and that, and the ball would have been, this would have gone, and I mean, it is what
and you
it is.
called it. Congratulations. I disagreed with you, but you were absolutely correct.
Well, even a blind, what do they say? Something about a blind squirrel?
Even a blind squirrel gets hit in the middle of the road. I don't know.
There you go. So the thing about just getting a little more information on the Bradley guy. The thing about the Bradley thing, Pat Murphy coached in the Padres minor league organization for a number of years. He went to Milwaukee as Craig Counsell's bench coach. Counsell was a former player for him at Notre Dame, which is really interesting. Pat did also play professionally for a year or two. He pitched. And his son-in-law is Pedro Alvarez, who played in the big leagues for numerous teams. There are people texting me that, Tony, I heard you earlier today, this thing's got way more legs than you think it does. Okay. I'm still of the mindset that I've got to see him leave to believe it. I think he's smarter than that. He's got a great lifestyle right now. And like Chris Burke told me one time, Berkey and I'll never forget this. We were talking about that little quarterback from that played at Oklahoma, Bry, who was a two-sport player. Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray.
I said, Burke, that guy's an awesome baseball player. Why wouldn't he go and make that money? He said, why would he do that? He could go play 17 games a year. Or at the time, 16 games a year, plus the preseason. and not have to be on airplanes all the time. He said, Tony, the rigors of playing Major League Baseball, and he said, as an NFL quarterback, he will earn a mint if he just does it for 5 or 6 years. And by the way, I stopped in my tracks and went, you know what? That is a great point. I've never even considered the lifestyle. Because that Major League deal is no joke. And that grinds those people up, man. You're always on an airplane, going here or there. Think about those teams. Because I saw, Brian, that Tiger team back in late February in early March, okay? How long ago was March, Brian? Let's think about this now. I was watching those guys yesterday thinking about this in light of the Tony Vols rumors.
That was back before the NCAA basketball tournament started, which seems like a gazillion years ago now.
If that means anything to you.
I don't think any major league team has ever directly hired a college baseball coach to come manage their team. I don't think they ever have. I don't think they ever will.
But like Sean said, if there's ever going to be one you're going to hire, the guy in Knoxville is the one I talk to. And I make him say no to me. If that's what I want to do. I agree with Sean in that. Because I think Tony, I'm never going to say into this microphone that he couldn't do that. Never. I'm not going to sell that dude short. I did that one time before, and it was to his face when he said to me, do you see what I see in the stadium? We were over there one day. And I've told the story numerous times on the air, and I looked at him and said, good luck to you. Good luck to you.
Well, when I take a look at it from the outside, I don't see, he can do it. But he seems to have a unique skill set for the college thing.
Yep.
He's an elite recruiter.
Yes.
Absolutely. He's talked many times about being in a car for so many hours or in Atlanta, incognito, sitting against the thing, watching a kid and his parents, I get all that.
Yes.
He seems to like that. You're not recruiting at the pro level. That's a huge skill set. He's a very good motivator. Great. Do you really motivate at the Major League Baseball level? You're sitting there with he loses 3 or 4 games, and he these aren't my words. He talked about he can't sleep at night. He's crushed, etc. The best team in Major League Baseball is likely on any given year going to lose 62 times.
Well, he saw Quentin Everhart
over anything. Now say this: if he's making $10 million 5 times, that may be a consideration because he can always go back to college later on if he wants to scratch that itch. But some people seem to be made for a certain position, and he seems to be made for college football, just like college baseball. Just like Saban was uniquely made for college football. And again, I want it on record. I think he would do well. I'm not going to put a ceiling on him.
He saw his strength coach do the same. Well, take a strength conditioning job with the Cubs. Different thing, though. Managing a team and being a strength coach are 2 different things. But he saw how he comes back to college immediately. Almost says it wasn't his type of thing. Players motivated themselves. Players have their own regimens, and he couldn't really do with them what he did in college. And he came right back. Don't know if Tony looks at that and decides, hey, I don't think I want to mess with this.
And if you're just joining us, somebody who heard me earlier poo-pooing whether or not he was there said, Tony, he's out there. So, again, easy thing for me to do would say, hey, I poo-pooed that in the first hour, and I'm not doing that. I don't roll. One thing I've learned doing this down through the years is, well, really, my lesson to any young kid chasing stories is, where there's smoke, there's fire. And there seems to be smoke here. Now, does that mean this guy's gone? No. Again, I'm of the mindset that I'd have to see him leave to believe it, because I think he's, how do I put this? I don't want to sound arrogant or condescending or anything. I think he's smarter than that. I don't think Tony would make a rash decision and jump into something just to do it. Like Sean said, scratch an itch.
No, but you think about this though. It's
he's a lifestyle
he had
guy,
to
man.
work. He had to work his fanny off to get this thing done, and then there's a year delay. I'm not blaming anybody. He's sick and tired, I'm sure, of having to scramble to get more NIL money just to watch kids go to LSU.
They did cut his NIL money. They did cut
his
NIL
money. It may be a ploy, not a ploy. I don't want to use that. It may be a tactic.
Yeah.
To get rich people to panic and start coughing up more money. Because look, here's a guy who negotiated for a long time to get his assistant coaches more money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
there is a backstory.
Even though he is loud and out front, and I don't mean loud in a bad way. I mean, he's just he's a force of nature. I've never ever once thought that this is a selfish guy or a guy in it for himself or a self promoter. I've not seen that. He seems like the ultimate team guy.
Danny White decided at the university level to give more money to the Lady Vols because Danny needs that Lady Vol coach to make it because that's his hire. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny here. I'm just calling it like I see it, as I do. People can take that for what it is. Agree or disagree with it. I'm just telling you what happened. And we wrote I don't have the exact figure in front of me. I wrote it in the blog at some point. If you want to Google it, I'm sure it would pop up. I'm not going to Google it. But Tony, they cut him a little bit, and he wasn't happy about it. I know that. Now, to Sean's point, I haven't even considered that because they're still recruiting well anyway. Because I've always been in the mindset that if Tony needs money, he'll pick the phone up and call somebody. Like they can have their pot over there that they cut toward him. But to Sean's point, when a major league team calls you and you interview with them, and you're the only guy in your sport, I mean in your sport, that we've ever even heard linked to one of these deals, I'd say you carry a little more clout next time around when we're divvying up the money on the campus level. I'd say that's true, Sean. I hadn't even considered that. That never even, that thought never even crossed my mind.
And I don't want to put it out there.
No, it's true though. That happened. But in
previous years, did he go outside the chain of command to get money?
Sure.
I'm not going to say that. But
I know he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Absolutely.
Yes, I know he did. I'll say it. I got no problem saying that.
I know that it's not a revenue sport, but neither was Pat Summitt's Lady Vols. I mean, they broke even. Relatively with women's basketball, it was a money sport, but it wasn't a revenue producer at the time. But at the time of that, the argument, and I agree with it, was he was bigger than the sport itself. He was somebody that Samuel L. Jackson. She was someone that Terrell Owens. She was somewhere that the elite of the country knew who Pat Summitt was. I hate to tell you, Tony Vitello is like that. Take a look at UFC. Take a look at ESPN. He's the face of the sport.
Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in on our TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Hi.
Hey, guys. It's Music City Sam.
Hey, Sammy.
Is it like a moon phase or some cosmic event this last week? Because there's been some crazy stuff happening in Tennessee athletics and the Tony Basilio fan base.
Uh-oh.
Man, some of these people.
Oh, some of these calls? That's just that's just another day at the office to me, man.
That's true. Hey, the saying goes, even a blind squirrel can find a nut every now and then.
Yep.
But
that's me.
But I'm not sure Columbo or Florida could find a nut if they were working in the Planters factory.
Those two guys are two lost balls and high weeds, man.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to think they're trolling. You're saying Joey Aguilar is, average, and he played terrible against Mississippi State, but who knows? I mean, I was just doing the quick numbers. If Matthews catches that ball and the Brazel catch stands, as it should have, he's averaging 18 yards a pass that game. 18.
Yeah, that's a quarterback drop sort of goes back to haunt the quarterback a lot. More often than not, they don't. They do.
Yeah, but, you can always say, what if we had this guy? What if we had this? Whatever. But I'm glad we've got Joey Football because it's someone to root for. It's a great story. He's playing phenomenal, and I don't ever feel like Tennessee's out of a game with him at quarterback. I really don't. And once we get some of these guys back on defense that we think we will, Tennessee's in a great position to close out the rest of this year on a hot streak.
Yeah, and I think Joey's the kind of guy that's going to, even when adversity hits, he's not going to, he appreciates the opportunity too much to just kind of mail it in. I don't think you'd ever see that with someone like him.
You saw that Saturday, Brian. He kept fighting. I mean, they had the 2 picks. They were down late, and he kept fighting, and he didn't go like off the script like the kid at Florida did. The kid at Florida, that was, I thought, kind of a disrespectful toward the game effort by him. And I'm a Tennessee fan. I'm not cheering for Florida in that game, but
I think he was real submissive to his coach on the sideline on that last drive that ended in regulation by not just he was going at the pace that Josh Heupel wanted to go at.
That's a great point.
He wasn't gonna go into business for himself, which a lot of QBs could have done.
And Watson Brown earlier, if you're just joining us, Watson Brown said they did exactly what Josh Heupel wanted them to do. He said Josh Heupel wanted to play that way. He said, do not put that down like it was some kind of brain cramp by him. He said, I've seen a lot of games. That is what he said, right, Sean? He said, don't put that down like it was something. They ran that clock out because that head coach wanted to run that clock out. That is exactly what Watson Brown said today. Now, I know some people are not going to agree with that, but that's Watson's opinion. Now, the question is, why did they run that clock out, which I would love to know. Because I don't think Heupel would do that either. That's why after the game, I mean, my stance on that was I can't excuse that because I don't understand doing that. But apparently Watson thinks he did it on purpose. Do you, Sam? Do you think we did it on purpose?
I think in the back of his mind, he was worried that if they got to a position to kick a 52, 53-yarder with 30 seconds left, that's a precarious situation.
Yep. That might be.
Which is a plausible thought. But, that's why I said is there's something cosmic going on because everything possible happened in that Mississippi State game to lose it. And on the drive when they needed to score, Aguilar, the team, put their head down, and they scored. And they won in overtime, and they got out of Mississippi State with a win. And they're in prime position to finish the rest of the year the way they want to for their ultimate goals. And that's what I mostly take from it. It's fun to nitpick every little thing, but in the general scope of the season, that was a great win with all the adversity that happened throughout the game.
No doubt.
Well, that was if we're honest, that and a lot of people don't like the concept, but that was the Heupel stinker, and he won the game. It could be a change. Again, people don't like it, but, I didn't like the Arkansas game. I didn't like the South Carolina game. I didn't like Florida in the second half of Alabama. But in this game, that's what happened. We did not match their intensity. Our concentration was way off. Defense was not playing like they can play. The missed tackles were rampant. And things were not going our way as far as the officials go. I'm not blaming them, but that's just some games are going to be like that. And still, we won the game. So there's a lot of positive to take out of that. That may have broken the curse.
I think it's great for the rest of the season to win a game like that.
I agree.
And, Mississippi State's better than they were obviously better than they were last year. Hey, how many teams in the Big Ten would Mississippi State be a 14-point favorite against right now? Like half of them, probably?
That would be very interesting. I'll tell you what, if you remember, ask C that tomorrow, or I will. But that's a very interesting thing you just brought up.
How many teams they'd be a 14-point favorite against?
No. On a neutral field, how would Mississippi State power rate against against the Big Ten. Because at the bottom of that league, there is some real garbage. That Mark in Columbus doesn't want to deal with that reality. There's some real garbage, Joe, at the bottom of that league.
I think they'd pop like a Rutgers or a Minnesota or someone like that.
Yeah, they would be what would they be against UCLA and Northwestern? 28 minimum?
Yes.
But I said 14, just throwing out a number, but they'd be moneyline favorites against probably half of the Big Ten right now, if I had to guess. But so to bring it all together, that was the perfect win to go right before a bye week, get healthy, hopefully get some guys back, go into the Arkansas game, take care of business, get focused, and attack the second half of the season. And it's all in front of you.
Hey, and the year is wide open. Like, as much as I looked at Alabama and said, boy, they're better than Georgia, you could still go down there and have crazy things happen and win a game. I mean, that's going to be like a 10.5, 11-point line, something like that when you play them. You can win that game. As bad as our history has been with Florida, and again, I'll believe it when I see it, guy, when it comes to Florida. But Brian's been saying all summer that's not the same Florida. And I heard fear in Florida's voice today. So there's that.
Oh, he knows that they're on the Titanic.
He knows it's coming.
Down.
Yes, he does. He's rearranging the deck chairs. You're exactly right.
Yeah, the thing with Florida being in the back end of the season, everyone in that Florida program knows Billy Napier's not going to be there next year. In the NIL era, when guys can transfer, if it's the last two games of the season, they're not going to get up as much as they would in previous years for a Tennessee game, just because it's Tennessee. Because a lot of those guys are not going to put their bodies on the line and tear an ACL before they go to the portal to get money.
Well, guys, here's the outlook for the next month and a half. They host if things don't change in rankings, and they will, but if they don't, so they play number 9 Texas tomorrow. I mean this weekend, excuse me. A week from that, they go to number 6. Then they host Mississippi State, who took us to overtime. So you'd think that'd be a hump game, but that's not a get well game. They get a week off. Then they host number 12 Georgia. They do get a break with Kentucky, and then at the end of the year, they go to Ole Miss. The next week, they host Tennessee. So you got number 4 ranked Ole Miss, number 15 Tennessee, and then host number 18 Florida. There is no way in the world they're engaged when we go down there. No way.
It's a great point, Sean. And that is the other thing. When you play people on these schedules, as we reported last Tuesday when we did that schedule show, Tennessee's ask this year was, okay, you want to reconfigure the schedule? We want Florida at the end of the year. We'll play Georgia earlier. This might prove to be a beautiful thing Danny White's done, or whoever it was inside Tennessee's apparatus that decided to do that, because that could be a key thing. Again, getting Georgia early in the year isn't the worst thing in the world either, because they're certainly not what they'll be when they become a gathering storm later in the year, if that ever happens.
So not to be a defeatist, that means you have to take care of business against an Oklahoma team with a quarterback coming off surgery on his throwing arm.
Yep.
And then if you do that, you're a playoff team.
That's right.
That's not impossible.
No, and Sean, if you can't do that, you don't belong near a playoff.
Well, I agree with you.
Right? If you can't, if that's in front of you and you have a chance to go down there and do that, you go into that game with 2 losses, okay? That's what we're talking about. And you just have to get out of that game, and then you get Vandy at the end of the year, which will be another good game. If they're healthy, that'll be a solid football game. But if you can't do that, you don't belong in a playoff. And you still have had a nice season if you don't win that game. If this team goes 9-3, they've still had a nice season.
And I think there's a difference. If you have a healthy McCoy and Colton Hood, both with first-round draft pick grades right now, that is the top tandem in the country without question.
Mm-hmm.
and then you get back the other guys. You solidify. No offense to Sham, but I mean, you saw David say. I mean, I know he jumped off sides. I'm willing to. Okay, that's okay. He's a freshman. He's trying. Man, he looked like a monster.
It's
out
like
there.
Zeus, dude. Zeus.
Oh.
Zeus Sanders.
And it's not a knock on Jesse Perry, because Jesse Perry's played lights out
really well
in a high school that never passed the ball, by the way.
Really
right
well.
Tackle in a high school that never passed the ball.
Yep.
You put him at guard and put Mo over at left guard. I think you got something there.
Let's go.
Oh, it's the best offensive line in the SEC, and that was why I was high on them on the preseason, because on paper it looked incredible, and they've lived up to it. But when Sanders pulled on that very first play, he hit that guy, and I watched it on the replay. The guy runs out of the screen. Like, he didn't want any part of that guy coming at him after he hit him. I mean, I think he got nicked up on it, but the dude is a beast. And
he looked like a receiver on a jet stream. I don't know what he was doing, but he was shot out of a cannon.
Oh, it was incredible. And Oklahoma, they have their offensive line has given up the highest pressure rate in the SEC this year. When they come into Neyland, that's what I'm going to be looking for. With Hobbs back, Jackson Moy, our pass rush is looking pretty dang good this year. And then if Mateer's coming back off his hand surgery, how rusty is he going to be? And to your point, if we don't win that game, we don't deserve to be in the playoffs. But that's setting up to be a game we should win.
Sammy, you're the man. I love you. Your glass, you wake up every morning, your glass is half full. I wish I could be more like that with my sports. But you're the man, dude. I'm like a, how do you put this? I'm somewhere between Dave and Mark and Columbo. No, I'm not. Tony, don't say things like that about yourself.
You're from Philadelphia. You can't help it.
Do I take 2 more phone calls, Sean, or do we get out of here? Because this Tony Voss thing might demand it. Because I believe he's there.
2 more phone calls. 2 more phone calls.
I believe he's there.
Call or paste.
I believe he's there.
Call or paste, brother.
Sean, I'll ask you, as somebody that follows us, have you ever heard of a sitting head coach in college baseball interviewing for one of these jobs, which I believe is probably what's going on right now? Now, I'm not going to report that, but I'm not afraid to put 2 and 2 together. Something's in the water, obviously.
If I had to guess, I would guess that you've sent out that you believe he's there. Great. I personally believe that Tony likes to be liked.
Yes.
I think he's a pleaser. I think he likes a slap on the back. We all do. I think he's an emotional guy. I think he's also calculating. You go out there and you say, hey, what is this all about? What are you offering? What would my role be, et cetera, et cetera. Now, think about this on the Giants, because we've dispelled the fact that Pat Murphy or whatever did not come from college to be the major league. That didn't happen.
Correct.
What does it do to your organization when you got career guys in there and you look to be making, albeit Tony's got 1 natty, but it screams of desperation to me. Not that Tony's a desperate candidate, but that's so off the wall when you have career guys working their way up, bench coaches, pitching coaches, minor league guys that in your system. I think that's a hard sell for an organization. And that's not discounting Tony or his abilities, because I think he's the best in college baseball. It is college baseball, and we see how traditional, how gosh, what am I trying to say? They have their ways there.
Most major league organizations, Sean, live in the moment and don't care about the guys downstream. That's how Major League Baseball is. It's extremely fickle, the way they treat people. You're constantly flushing guys in and out. And again, the GMs in that deal that have the owner, that have the ear of the president and the owners, those are the guys that are really the ones that are controlling the deal. That's why
look, if this was 30 years ago and Tony could really go and manage a team and have an effect and an impact, now all you do is set a lineup. And even in the National League, now there's no DH. You do less coaching now than ever any time on record. And I'm not sneezing at the guys that have those jobs, but you got to have a lot of restraint to be a major league manager, because you got to swallow your tongue an awful lot. An awful lot. Hello and welcome into our next call.
What's up, buddy? You staying on long today, man. I was sure you'd be getting out of here.
Say, do I get respect for that or no?
And, I mean...
Not really?
I guess I'll give you some respect.
I ought to get out of here. But... I really ought to get out. What's up, Lee? How you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. So real quick, Mississippi State would be about 12.5 over Northwestern. That'd be about 14.5 over UCLA. 28 was a good guess, though. If Sam, you can give Sam my number, and I'll be glad to book his action at better prices than any of his favorite books.
What about Columbo, who thinks our leagues are right on top of each other, like you said earlier? Oh, Columbo.
So, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that the SEC has more better teams. Like, it's definitely a deeper conference, no question.
Yeah.
The top is where the Big Ten. There is a separation. Like, I'm sorry, but
no, you're right.
The top of the Big Ten is better than the SEC. The only exception to that would possibly be Texas. Like, I think Texas is the only one that would have a shot, honestly, against Ohio State or Oregon right now. Obviously, if Manning took strides, then that would be a big deal. But yeah, there's a gap between the top of the Big Ten and the top of the SEC.
Also, time and place, right? Like, my whole thing about these schedules and times you play these teams, we had a great shot at Georgia because they're not what they're going to be by the end of the year. I really believe that. I think Alabama's going to get better. Obviously, Tennessee's going to get better. They're going to get people back. But like Rusty was saying earlier, if Georgia grows a couple of pass rushers, and they've got young kids on their team that were highly recruited, if they grow a couple between now and December, they could be formidable in the playoffs as well. So that's the one thing about this game right now, is that these teams, with all this parity, some teams are going to streak here at the end of the year. It's going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you always have to, like, take into account that teams can get better.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Now, I will say this about Georgia. Let's say Georgia doesn't win the overtime game versus Tennessee, doesn't win the overtime game at the end of last year versus Georgia Tech. What's their record like the last, like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 games?
You're right.
It ain't very good.
No, you're right. But it's kind of like us with Mississippi State, Lee. It's like there's a belief. Like, in the back of my mind, Mississippi State was never beating Tennessee. There's just a belief that they have. They had no business winning that Georgia Tech game last year, to your point. Zero business. I mean, they didn't really have business winning our game, but they had less business winning that one. So you make a good point there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, like, Georgia, I hear people when they talk about how wide open they think this is. I really don't think it's as wide open as people think. Like, I honestly do. I only think there's like 3-4 teams that can legitimately win it, that can run through the playoffs and actually win this thing. And by the end of the year, I think there might only be 1 or 2, and I think that's going to be very clear.
What about in the SEC,
I'm sorry,
Lee? What about?
I don't think any of them are in the SEC. Like, now, I think like. You're looking at maybe 5 teams making it into playoffs out of the SEC. None of them are going to get buys. I mean, I don't think it's as wide open. I do think there is a gap right now between Ohio State, Oregon, and I'll include Miami, even though Cristobal will probably find a way to screw it up. That's an absolutely just loaded team, especially at the lines of scrimmage.
They spent so much money, man. They've spent so much money. Yeah. Hey, guys, that and by the way, I heard a very interesting story that I'll pass along now. The safety that left us, Sean, Tennessee did not believe that they had the offer they had from Miami. Their agency called Tennessee and gave them the right to match that offer, and they called the kid's bluff, and the kid went to Miami. Or he'd be our safety still, and he's having a nice year for Miami. It's kind of an interesting story, the way that worked, the way the whole deal works with these teams picking apart each other's rosters. because you have to choose to believe what you're going to believe or not believe what you're going to believe, and can't be afraid to call people's bluffs, Lee. But he's a nice player, and that just goes to show you Tennessee could not believe that Miami would spend the kind of money for him they were spending, and apparently Miami threw an offer at that kid who left us after the spring that was too good to be true.
Well, like I said 2 years ago, Miami is a very weird. It's a weird case study with Miami because most schools have to choose where they want to spend their money. Are they going to spend it in high school recruiting? Are they going to spend it in the portal? Miami's pretty much an open checkbook.
Yes.
Cristobal has daddy's credit card for both. That's what he's done for 3 years. That's why that roster is insanely stacked.
Yes.
So overpaying for a guy, like if he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. But the guy that's paying it he owns so many European soccer clubs, he's never even going to know that money's gone. So, it's different schools, I guess. I did want to comment because I did look at your blog after I heard Mark's call. So I don't think it's fair to say that, well, if you just plug Joey Aguilar into Oregon or Alabama or Texas or whoever, they would be better. I think saying that kind of discounts a little bit of what Heupel's done with him and the job he's done, getting him ready to fit into the system and getting him ready to play. Like, Aguilar wasn't this guy that everybody thought you could just plug into a team and it's just going to elevate the entire team. Otherwise, he would have had a laundry list of suitors.
I think that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. So, but this Joey Aguilar, though, my point is, with these veteran quarterbacks, Lee, there is so much interesting. There's so much value in being a veteran and being coachable and being malleable. Those kids have to be a lot more humble than those kids that come out of high school that think they know everything and have always been the best and the brightest. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of there's a better way to phrase that.
I think we've got to be really careful, though, about assuming just because this happened with Aguilar that can happen with any transfer quarterback.
I think that's right. I think that's right.
Like North Carolina goes and pulls Gio Lopez out of the same conference Aguilar came out of, and he can't. And he's not doing anything.
Yeah, he can't play.
Like Aguilar's having a good year, but he got put into a really good system. And if Aguilar had gone to Florida, I'm sorry, in that offense he would be a disaster, especially against that schedule. I just think it's really specific. I don't think you can just necessarily say these teams would be better with him. We don't really know. We have no idea. To suggest that Texas would have beaten Ohio State with Aguilar, I don't believe that for a second. I watched that entire game. Matt Patricia was throwing high-level NFL stuff at Arch he had never seen before. And most college coaches can't do that because they don't have the talent Ohio State has at DB. And Arch's head was spinning, and he probably would have done the same thing had Aguilar been the quarterback of Texas that day. It's impossible to really say these things. Oregon's fine with Dante. Dante Moore's probably going to win the Heisman. He's the leading odds getter right now. They're probably not going to lose again. That kid's probably going to win it, if we're being totally honest. I think the same kid at Ohio State's a player, man. I think once they turn the reins loose on him, I think he's going to be really good. Texas, I think you can argue with Texas because Arch hasn't been good, but he doesn't really need to be good for them to win football games with how good that defense is,
Lee, my wife is looking at the clock and staring at me, and
she's
shrugging at me, Lee. Hey, she's shrugging at me, Lee. I love you. Thanks.
See you, man.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, I'm glad I wrote something on the blog today that, people are responding to. That's good. Go check it out over at tclub.team. We love you. Cinco, give me a final thought here on the way out. You've been incredible, man. We did overtime to the overtime today.
Well, Tony, as always, I appreciate you having me on Wednesdays. It is a treat and a privilege to be on with you and Brian, and congratulations on moving over to the fan run. It seems like it's a big hit. And Tony V, there's no reason for you to listen to me, but play it up, make a lot of noise, and then come on back home and crush the recruiting for us.
A friend of mine is now referring to him as Nico Vitello, Cinco. Look, you can't be mad at him for going. If he's gone out there to talk to them, I would talk to them. If I was him, that's not disloyal to talk to them. Anybody.
Well, if he goes, just be thankful he was here. I mean, We were not. I'm sitting here watching.
No, if he goes, let's rip him.
This is what reminds me. I'm watching Cal Raleigh hit 60 home runs, and every time he hits it, I'm watching that bum of his father up in the stands.
He's a real
bad
guy.
That's what UT baseball used to be. A guy
a real bad
who
guy.
almost had a revolt in the dugout.
Should have had a
players
revolt. Should have gotten his ass beat.
Crushed his head in.
Should have gotten his ass beat.
That after he got fired, turned himself into the NCAA for his self-reporting violations so that this place would get in trouble. That's the kind of complete bozo that was running this place. No offense, Cal Riley, but your dad's a bozo.
A bodo.
And
a trucking bodo.
Thankful for what the guy did, man. We now are relevant. We Chris Burke got on here, who's the ultimate peep for Tennessee baseball, and he was almost embarrassed by our facilities just 3 or 4 years ago.
Yep, Berkey was. Yep, Berkey fought hard.
Yeah, but I don't believe. Shoot, bring Burke back. He could be the head coach. I mean, I'm not pushing Vitello out. I think he's a one of one. But I wish him the best, and I don't think he's going. By the way, I think it's to kick the tires, see what's out there, come on back, because I think he's a college head coach.
Come on back, Tony. Come on back. Love you guys. Thanks. Obviously, we'll continue to track that. If news breaks out, I'll break in. I've got a lot of phone calls to make today, and I'm exhausted already. Not that you care. But that's TLD Logistics Overdrive. Overtime to the overdrive, overtime. I'm on 15 minutes further. And like a friend of mine saw me in the park and said, so how long was your post-game show last night? And I said, 5.5 hours. And he looked at me and said, why? He said, why don't you just do 3 and get off? And I went, he said, you'd feel a lot better. You know, you'd have more juice. And I went, he said, you think people care? You think people really care that you're on 5.5 hours? And it kind of made me think. Till we meet again, for all those behind the scenes, love you, love your show, appreciate you, peace on the streets. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. I'm going to run today's show back if you missed any of today's program, because it's crazy. It's crazy up in here. But we'll run today's show back. If you missed any of today's show, why am I hearing myself on a loop here? All right, hang on. Okay, I got it. Let me get out of here. Okay, let's listen back on today's show. What do you think? And you have yourself a beautiful, blessed day. What you say? What you say, Stallion? What you say? What you say, Stallion? I got it. Let me get out of here. There we go. I'm getting out.
You are too. You guys get very emotional about.
Here's me telling you I don't believe the Vitello thing. I don't believe he's in California, which I now believe, by the way. But I didn't 3.5 hours ago.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
TB, welcome you to another edition. Ladies and gentlemen, Fan Running with you on a incredible, and I do mean bow your head when you say thy name, Wednesday with Watson Brown. You know, today as we welcome you in, I have to ask, Tony Vols and the Giants, is it real? Is it real? Really, really hot rumors floating around right now in our local baseball community. Also, it's a Wednesday with Watson. Let's go. Dudley Dawson joins as well. And Mark in Columbo tells me he's dropping a bomb later on in the hour, if he can somehow figure out a way to get through. So we got all kinds of stuff to talk about today and very little time to get there. Look, as I said yesterday with this Tony Vitello thing, I get why the Giants want him.